Immortal Cultivation. I run an internet cafe in another world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 451, The Ancestors' Instructions. Now it is just for me and our Yangzu to implement this plan. If the two of them do not agree, it is possible that the ancestor will do it himself. So our Yang also nodded and then said to the Yang ancestor in front of him, "Ancestor, we know about this matter. When the interests of the Yang family and the Kanglang kingdom really conflict, we will definitely stand on the side of the Yang family. However, we have already reached an alliance with the Kanglang kingdom, so it is impossible to take action now. I hope that the ancestor can understand and be considerate." The Yang ancestor on the other side saw that Yang Chen had given up and finally nodded with satisfaction. "It's great that you can think this way. Anyway, everything must be based on the interests of the Yang family. Everything else is not important." On the other side, Yang Zhu did not expect Yang Chen to agree to this matter, so he looked at Yang Chen anxiously. Yang Chen naturally noticed the expression on Yang Zhu's face and then hurriedly winked at Yang Zhu on the other side, because of course he knew that Yang Zhu would never agree to this matter. Even if it is about the future, Yang Zhu must not be the kind of person who stabs in the back. So after listening to Yang Chen's words, Yang Zhu was also very anxious. But later she noticed some strange expressions on Yang Chen's face, and then she figured out some things. Because she also trusts Yang Chen very much. After all, she has been with Yang Chen for such a long time. Doesn't she know what her brother is like? In fact, Yang Chen did nothing wrong. There was no need to be so firm in her words just now. After all, these seniors certainly don't understand their thoughts. It's better to agree to it now. After all, coping is the most important thing. No one can predict what will happen in the future, so we can solve it later. There is no need to make the atmosphere so ugly. Sure enough, after listening to Yang Chen's words, Yang ancestor couldn't help but feel relieved. Then he didn't keep entangled in this matter, because no matter how to say it now, this matter is still a long-term thing. It's impossible to plan it directly. Yang ancestor himself said just now that this is a long-term thing, so they don't need to do anything now. On the other side, Bai Luo naturally received the news that the Holy Land and the Demon Realm had already started a war. He naturally knew that the last time the Great Elder and his men brought the souls of the ancient masters in those magic weapons over, they practiced in the internet cafe for a long time, and later they recovered a lot of magic power. But Bai Luo didn't care about the things over there. Not long after, he received the news that the Holy Land and the Demon Realm had already started a war. Because he had promised the Great Elder before, he had always kept this matter in mind. After receiving this news, Bai Luo couldn't sit still. Although Bai Luo knew that it was very dangerous over there, he finally got on the teleportation array without hesitation. Just after he got off the ground, the voice of the system rang in his mind. Bai Luo felt a little confused because he didn't notice the problem over there at all when he came down, but he felt very uncomfortable as soon as he was teleported down. This discomfort was not physical, but a kind of mental retreat. He was still thinking about this problem, but he didn't expect that a voice came from the system. "Just now when I got off the ground, I noticed a huge spiritual power fluctuation. This place looks very unsafe, but the dangerous factors have not been found yet. You'd better be careful." Spiritual power fluctuation. Just after the system finished saying this, Bai Luo heard a very chaotic fighting sound. "Please accept it." Bai Luo didn't think much about it and ran directly to the sound. This place is located in a very large flat land. Although there are a few small hills here, it still looks very flat. So it was not difficult for Bai Luo to find people. Not long after, he came here. Sure enough, the battle has already started here, and it looks very fierce. Then Bai Luo found the elder who was fighting in the crowd. When he ran over just now, he also observed the situation and found that the current situation did not seem to be very optimistic for them. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar published this novel for the first time. Because Hualan is the leader of this war, Bai Luo is still very clear about her strength. The enemy is numerous, and we are few. So the Holy Land had been at a disadvantage, and then Bai Luo came to the Great Elder. The Great Elder was now fighting with a fighter from the demon realm, and then Bai Luo came to help. This fighter was no threat to him at all, so Bai Luo just moved his hands and beat him, and then he directly used his sword to split the fighter from the demon realm in half. Then he walked directly to the Great Elder. Great Elder, I think the current situation is very bleak. It seems that we can't beat those fighters from the demon realm at all. Otherwise, we should choose to retreat first, and then discuss how to start later. Otherwise, if we continue to fight like this, we may cause a lot of casualties. The Great Elder naturally knew that they were now at the bottom, and knew that they couldn't fight anymore. But now they had no way to evacuate, and these people from the demon realm would never let them go so easily. And behind them was the border between the Holy Land and the demon realm. If they retreated, they didn't know what kind of treatment the people behind them would suffer. So the Great Elder shook his head helplessly. Whether we can escape or not is a question now. In addition, the border between the demon world and the body is behind us. There are residents living there not far away. I'm worried that, if we really escape, those residents will not know how to resettle them. After hearing the words of the Great Elder, Bai Luo looked at the situation nearby helplessly. But the current situation does look very bad. What should we do? Just when Bai Luo was still thinking about this, the voice of the system sounded in his body again. Do you still remember that you have learned the soul applying technique? It doesn't matter whether you know it or not. You now have all the unique skills of the soul applying technique in your body. Anyway, you have mastered this ability. This soul applying technique can be regarded as a very good combat helper. You can now use the soul applying technique to help the Holy Emperor. Bai Luo actually heard about this matter, but he didn't believe it when Zhu told him last time. Chapter 452, Emergency. Now that he heard the system say this to him again, Bai Luo didn't think much about it. Then he slowly closed his eyes. Sure enough, the soul applying technique was indeed in his body. Not long after he closed his eyes, the spell in his mouth came out directly. He didn't need to remember it, but it was as if it was completely integrated with Bai Luo's body. He could just close his eyes and recite it silently. After Bai Luo finished casting the spell, all the strong men in the Holy Land were copied into a shadow clone. Bai Luo couldn't help but be stunned when he saw this situation. After all, shadows were not a good thing in his mind before. This was the first time Bai Luo used the soul applying technique. So he was a little surprised to see this result. Just when Bai Luo was still worried about this matter, he found that those clones didn't seem to have any malice. Moreover, Bai Luo also saw the fairy spirit on those clones that only the residents of the Holy Land had. Bai Luo still remembered that the shadow he met last time was surrounded by black air. After thinking of this, Bai Luo couldn't help but laugh, and then he breathed a sigh of relief. If I really summoned these clones to be bad shadows, it would really cause a lot of trouble. But now it seems to be good. The elder on the other side naturally noticed the immortal energy on those clones, so he also smiled. But after all, the situation is urgent now, so the elder did not say much to Bai Luo, but just ran over. Then he directly instructed the clones and said, all the immortals of the Holy Land, listen to my orders. The criminals of the demon world invaded our land and slaughtered our people. I hope that all the ancient masters will give me a helping hand. The clones of the ancient masters naturally have their own consciousness, so after hearing the words of the elder, they immediately started to attack the demon world fighters in front of them. Those people in the demon world did not expect that there would be such an operation, so they did not react for a while. And now these ancient masters suddenly have half more, so they are not at a disadvantage in terms of numbers. They can soon contain those people in the demon world. The elder on the other side saw Bai Luo on the side and said to Bai Luo, the situation is under control now. We can just hold them back so that the others can evacuate. We just need to stop them from invading. Bai Luo nodded. He naturally thought that this was the best. Although they no longer had so many disadvantages, the situation was still a little hard to control. It was mainly because they had not handled the situation well before, so Bai Luo also thought that retreating now was the best thing to do. Okay, then let's evacuate quickly. Let these shadows carry the troops in front. The elder nodded and then quickly passed the message to everyone, asking them to evacuate quickly. On the other side, the saint had already fallen into a disadvantage, but the shadows summoned by the soul binding technique stabilized the situation at the same time. At that time, the saint's magic weapon had been snatched away by the people of the demon realm, but the shadows summoned later also helped to snatch it back. After the saint got the magic weapon again, she quickly looked around. Because the saint had not paid attention to the situation over there before, she was also very shocked when she saw so many clones. In the past, she had always thought that these clones were not good things, but she did not expect that the clones with multiple heads were completely different from before. The saint in the front thought that she was also hit by the soul binding spell, but she did not expect that it seemed that it was not what she thought. After seeing the current situation, the saint could not help but breathe a sigh of relief. Then she received the news from the great elder that she had to evacuate quickly. Although the saint still had a lot of things to understand, there was not much time to waste. So the saint quickly followed the flow of people and got on the teleportation array. On the other side, Hualan had been observing the surrounding environment, and she did not expect Bai Luo to suddenly use the soul binding spell. Now the situation suddenly developed in another direction, so she did not react for a while. However, she also noticed a phenomenon, that is, these clones were actually emitting fairy air. This was a situation she had never seen before. In fact, she came to participate in this battle this time for her own selfish reasons, and she did not care about the interests of both sides. So she did not care about other things, but always observed the actions of the people inside. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. After realizing this, Hualan wanted to find the saint quickly and ask her what was going on. Because he didn't know much about the situation here, he wanted to see if the saint could tell him some clues. But now the saint had gone away, and Hualan didn't find her in the crowd. But Hualan didn't look away yet, and then he saw the saint's clone on the other side. After seeing this, Hualan immediately became alert. Then he kept looking at the saint's clone in front of him. But to Hualan's surprise, this clone didn't mean to attack him at all. What's going on? Hualan hasn't figured out what the rules of this soul binding technique are yet. After all, this is beyond his cognition. Then Hualan quickly observed the surrounding situation and found that the development of things was completely beyond his expectations. The reason why he helped the demon realm before was naturally his own reason. But now looking at the situation in front of him, Hualan found that he seemed to have been deceived, because the current situation is completely different from what they described to him. Thinking of this, Hualan also hurried to find the people in the demon realm to settle accounts. He was the blood of the ancient immortals. How could he tolerate such people fooling around? Because he had already noticed the location of the demon lord before. The demon lord that Hualan went to find was also very simple. The demon lord on the other side saw Hualan coming towards him aggressively, and there was no shock on his face. Instead, he smiled slightly and looked at Hualan in front of him. Hualan didn't want to talk too much nonsense with him, so he asked directly, "What is the situation now? Can you explain it? It seems that what you said before is not like this." The demon lord smiled and then patted Hualan on the shoulder. "Don't be so anxious. Although there are some small mistakes in some small places, the general direction is not wrong." After hearing the words of the demon lord, Hualan couldn't help but smile. Then his eyes became very cold. Chapter 453 Hualan is trapped. Don't try to fool me with this kind of words. Do you think I don't know what you are planning? What you said before was nothing more than trying to fool me. If you don't give me an explanation today, don't blame me for turning my back on you. While Hualan and the demon lord were still playing, the saint on the other side had been teleported to the side of the three elders. The saint did not expect that she would be teleported here, so she couldn't help but be shocked. Just when the saint thought that there would be a tough battle, she didn't expect that the three elders had no intention of attacking her at all. Instead, they ignored her directly. After seeing this situation, The saint was also confused. She didn't know what these people meant. What do you want to do? After hearing what the three elders said, they stopped and looked at the saint in front of them fiercely. You'd better stay here with me honestly, otherwise you will be in trouble. After hearing what this person said, the saint couldn't help but frowned. While the saint was still thinking about the ins and outs of this matter, Bai Luo appeared not far from her. Bai Luo naturally saw the saint here, and then he ran over quickly. He came here to find the saint. After all, he had noticed the direction of the saint's transfer just now, and finally came here directly. Because he was still a little worried about the safety of the saint, he didn't think of coming over to give her a few words of advice. There were still many things to do, and Bai Luo was worried. Then Bai Luo ran over quickly, and then said to the saint in front of him, "You should leave here quickly, find a safe place to hide first, and we will come to find you when the time comes. Anyway, remember to protect your own safety. You can talk about your things later." Hearing Bai Luo's anxious tone, the saint couldn't help but get nervous. She naturally knew that the current situation was not as easy to control as they imagined, but she didn't want to be a deserter. Just when the saint was still hesitating about what to do about this matter, Bai Luo had already left. Bai Luo ran over there again. "So what should we do now?" The situation was so chaotic that the saint didn't know what to do. But she didn't leave immediately, but observed the situation around her to see if she could help. On the other side, Bai Luo returned to the front battlefield. The current situation was not as optimistic as he had imagined. Then Bai Luo also observed the actions below from a higher place. Then Bai Luo was attracted by Hualan standing in the center and the demon lord in front of her. Bai Luo didn't expect that Hualan would have a conflict with the demon lord. It seemed that the situation was not good. Seeing from such a distance, Hualan's expression was very ugly. What were the two arguing about? This made Bai Luo very confused, because in Bai Luo's eyes, the two didn't seem to have any big conflicts. Could it be that something happened? Just when Bai Luo was still thinking about this, the witness saw that the demon lord over there secretly ordered his men to sneak attack Hualan from behind. The demon lord was pulling Hualan in front, so Hualan couldn't take care of the people behind. What Hualan didn't expect was that someone behind her had already picked up a knife and stabbed her. After seeing this, Bai Luo didn't think much and wanted to run over there. Finally, he shouted, "Be careful." Hualan on the other side also heard Bai Luo's voice and turned around. Then he saw the demon warrior behind him stabbing at him with a knife. After seeing this, Hualan also reacted quickly and dodged the attack sideways. Then Hualan was merciless and ended the life of the demon soldier who wanted to sneak attack her with a sword. After seeing this, Hualan also looked at the demon lord in front of him very coldly. After all, he knew who was in charge of the demon domain now and who was instructing this person. "What do you want to do? So you want to die?" The demon lord found that his plan was disrupted, and finally he didn't have any intention of being angry. Instead, he smiled very proudly. Read the error-free version at 69 bookbar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. You have to see clearly your current situation. After all, things are different now. Hualan did not expect the demon lord to be so arrogant now, and she did not think she would be bullied by the demon lord. Just when Hualan was about to make a move, a group of people suddenly surrounded her. However, these people did not make a move on her first, but formed a circle around her. Hualan looked at the people around her and had a little doubt in her heart. Why did she feel that things were not so simple? Because the positions of these people seemed to have other mysteries. After realizing the trend of things, Hualan also looked at the demon lord on the side fiercely. It seemed that all things could be connected. It turned out that she had been calculated long ago, and this matter had always been in the control of the demon lord. Thinking of this, Hualan also hurriedly wanted to use her magic power to escape from here. But before she could use her magic power, the people around her had already stood in their positions, and then a formation appeared directly under her feet. How could this happen? Hualan did not expect that this group of people would be so fast. They must have planned this for a long time. When he saw that the formation here had taken shape, the demon lord also took a few steps back silently. In fact, the purpose of the demon realm this time was not only to defeat the Holy Land, but also to take down Hualan. Because Hualan is the bloodline of the ancient immortals, as long as he gets this bloodline, it will definitely be of great help to his cultivation. When the time comes, he will use Hualan to defeat the Holy Land, and then no one will be able to threaten him. And now it seems that things are going very smoothly, and no one can affect him at all. After seeing this situation, the demon lord on the other side couldn't help laughing. Hualan, who was standing in the middle of the formation, also panicked. She didn't expect that she would fall to this point. After realizing her situation, Hualan wanted to leave this place quickly, but every time she exerted force, this formation bound her severely. Hualan was trapped inside, and there was no way out for a while. Chapter 454, Giant Magic Array. Because now he is completely in the middle of this formation, his powerful strength has been controlled by this formation. So now no matter how powerful his magic power is, he can't break through this formation. At least there is no way to do it with his own strength. Hualan now feels helpless because he has no way to do anything inside. So he can only look at the situation around him very anxiously and found that the clones around him summoned by the spirit technique have disappeared. It seems that they have been absorbed by this powerful formation. It turns out that all this was premeditated by him, and he was completely tricked by them. That's why it's like this now. The elder on the other side has now withdrawn in time, and then he hurriedly looked at the situation around him. After all, the situation was too chaotic just now, and the elder also knew that he had to evacuate people quickly. But it happened that Bai Luo used his clone to help them in front, so it was enough to help them delay time for the people in the body to run out. After that, the elder outside also saw what happened over there very clearly. Looking down from here, it's completely a huge formation below. Hualan was trapped inside, in the middle of this formation. After seeing all this, the elder seemed to understand a lot of things, and he suddenly became anxious. So that's how it was. It turned out that all these things were premeditated, and they came here just to complete this formation. Everything that happened just now was a cover-up, and it turned out that the real purpose of the demon lord was here. After seeing this situation, the elder couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Although he didn't know this formation very well, he had read some records in the classics. If the elder remembered correctly, this formation required the sacrifice of living people, and there were already many living people in this formation. And now Hualan was in the middle of the formation. Everything was just right, and it seemed that there was no deviation at all. What should we do next? Now they have no way to stop them with their current strength. Because Hualan has been completely controlled, although Hualan's magic power is indeed very profound, he has no ability to use any strength to deal with these people. This formation has already devoured a lot of power, so the elders have no way to destroy it. The saint on the other side naturally noticed the situation here. She stood next to the elder and looked at the scene below and seemed to have thought of something. What is going on? What do they want to do? The saint looked very anxious. Although she didn't like Hualan, she was very clear about the importance of Hualan. After all, Hualan has the blood of the ancient immortals. Although her temper is not very good, her identity is indeed very noble. The elder on the other side also frowned, and then turned around and said to the saint, "The ultimate goal of this demon lord may be to obtain the blood of Hualan, the ancient immortal. You should have seen that this is a giant formation. It uses the terrain here and the living people below to make a sacrificial formation. The purpose is to suppress Hualan." After listening to the elder's words, the expression on the saint's face became even uglier. What should we do now? We can't just watch Hualan die. We can't let them achieve their goal so easily. The great elder knew about this, but he didn't have any way to do it now. After all, this power can't be restricted just because he wants to. So the great elder shook his head helplessly. With our current strength, there is no way to destroy this magic circle, and I can't save Hualan now. The saint was very anxious, but she was powerless. Otherwise, let's get closer and think of a way. After all, there is no way to stand here. Let's see if we can find a little floor by getting closer, and then we can catch Hualan. Although this method does seem very risky, the great elder also knows that it is a helpless move now. After hesitating for a while, the great elder finally nodded. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK underscore BAR is the first to publish this novel. Okay, but you can't get too close or you'll lose your life, so you'll have to be very careful. After getting the approval of the Great Elder, the Saint girl slowly squeezed over there. The arrogant expression on the face of the Demon Lord was completely out of control. He looked at Ulan, who was trapped inside and helpless, and then laughed very wantonly. Why are you silent now? Didn't you look down on people before? You look so high and mighty. Now you have the ability to do it. I tell you, as long as you enter this magic circle, you two will be constantly weakened, and then you will not be my opponent at all. After saying this, the Demon Lord also laughed. Bai Luo on the other side was also trapped in this magic circle. Because he wanted to help Ulan before, but he didn't expect to be recorded in this magic circle, and he didn't expect that this was such a big trap. So he naturally heard the harsh words that the Demon Lord said to Ulan just now. But he didn't feel anything now, at least not as bad as the Demon Lord. He was very comfortable inside and didn't feel anything at all. So now Bai Luo couldn't help but sneer, and then he shouted directly to the Demon Lord above. I thought you were so good at this magic circle, but I felt that this magic circle didn't seem to have any effect inside. You are the Lord of the Demon Realm, so I guess these things are just bragging. The Demon Lord on the other side didn't notice Bai Luo at all, and naturally didn't take the candle to heart, because his focus has always been on Ulan. But now he didn't expect such a young boy to say such cruel words and openly provoke him. But the Demon Lord didn't get angry immediately, but looked at Bai Luo, who was in the magic circle, with some suspicion. What is the origin of this person? After all, Fa Zheng had cleared a group of people just at the beginning. But this person still looks lively, as if he was not affected by this magic circle, and what he said just now seems to be true. What's the reason? Chapter 455, Continuing Competition. Who are you? How come you are not affected at all while staying in the house? Bai Luo waved his hands helplessly. He didn't know why. After all, he was just an ordinary person. So Bai Luo couldn't help but sneer, and then pointed around. You are asking me what my identity is. I'm naturally an ordinary person. Since I'm not affected at all, it means that there is something wrong with your Dharma body, which is really surprising. Listening to Bai Luo's naked provocation, the expression on the face of the Demon Lord on the top was also very distorted. After all, Bai Luo was embarrassing him in person. Then the Demon Lord waved his hand directly, and then a strong airflow rushed towards Bai Luo. But Bai Luo was not afraid. He just took the blow with his hand. The Demon Lord on the other side did not expect that his blow would be so easily defeated by this man. Seeing this situation, the Demon Lord also looked at Bai Luo in front of him seriously. After all, this person did not seem to be as simple as he imagined. Moreover, Bai Luo looked very relaxed inside. Could it be that he was also the blood of the ancient immortals? Otherwise, how could he have such a strong power? Moreover, he looked very young now, not like the old men he had met before. Then the Demon Lord looked at Bai Luo in front of him suspiciously, and then looked at the people around him. Then he waved his hand. Then these people rushed directly into the magic circle and surrounded Bai Luo. Bai Luo stayed in the magic circle and was unscrupulous to the Demon Lord above, and then he couldn't help but say, I thought you were very capable, but I didn't expect that I couldn't beat you, so I thought of using the majority to bully the minority. The Demon Lord was not angered by Bai Luo this time, but slowly walked to the side of the magic circle, and then looked at Bai Luo below. Then he said to Bai Luo below with a smile on his face, don't think I don't know that your origins are definitely not simple, but these are not important. Anyway, we can just kill you when the time comes. Aren't you quite arrogant? Let me see if you can still be arrogant now. After the Demon Lord said this, he immediately looked at the people surrounding Bai Luo. Then he turned around and said, go. No need to leave any alive. The sooner the better. Bai Luo's situation does not look good now. Although the other people are not Bai Luo's opponents, Bai Luo is now trapped in the formation, and now he is surrounded by all the people in the demon world. The saint standing outside the formation naturally noticed this situation. The saint wanted to come and see if she could help Yangzu, but she didn't expect that when she came down, she found that Bai Luo actually rushed to the front. After seeing this situation, the saint also knew that Bai Luo's life was in danger. The saint simply couldn't stand by and be indifferent, so she was also very anxious now. What should we do now? If we don't go in, Bai Luo will die. After hearing what the saint said, the elder on the side shook his head helplessly. But we don't have any other way now. We can't break this formation for a while, and Bai Luo has no way to escape from it. The elder's face was also very ugly. He didn't know why things turned out like this. The saint on the other side also turned pale after hearing the elder's words. She looked at Bai Luo's increasingly worse situation inside, and then she couldn't bear it anymore. After that, she wanted to rush directly into the formation with her weapon. In fact, the saint's action was quite fast, but because the elder in front had noticed that the saint's reaction was a bit too big, he paid some attention to the saint in advance. After they saw this situation, they also hurriedly stopped the saint. What are you doing? I know you are very worried about Bai Luo, but it will be useless if you rush in now. After entering the formation, your strength will be weakened. And you also know that Bai Luo's strength is not weak. If you rush in now, you may hinder Bai Luo, and we cannot guarantee your safety after you go in. After hearing what they said, the saint was very helpless, because she knew that if she didn't find a way to help, Bai Luo's situation would only become more and more difficult. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Then what should I do? Do you think I want to do this? After all, this incident today has nothing to do with Bai Luo. He came here just to help us. Do you want me to watch him die? I can't do it. After listening to the words of the saint, the expressions on the faces of the three elders were very tangled. In fact, what the saint said was not wrong at all. This matter had nothing to do with Bai Luo. Bai Luo participated in this matter just to help them. But now they have to stand by and watch. Then the elder stood up and said to the people beside him, if that's the case, then we can do it. You little girls stay outside. We might be able to help if we go in. Don't go in and make trouble. After the elder said this, he went into the formation with the three elders. Although the saint was also very worried about the safety of the elders, the current situation could only be like this. If no one really went to help Bai Luo, the saint really didn't know how Bai Luo would survive. But the saint also knew that if the elders entered the formation, they would definitely be in danger of death. But now it can only be like this. Bai Luo, who is now in the center of the formation, is indeed a little overwhelmed. Because now he is not only trapped in this formation, but also many people from the demon world are attacking him. The goal of these people is very clear. It is nothing more than to take his life. So Bai Luo has to pay attention to some situations in his body skills, while paying attention to these people, who want his life. Although on the surface, Bai Luo seemed to have been dealing with those people from the demon world. Because he didn't know what to do next, Bai Luo asked the system directly. The current situation looks very bad. Do you know how to leave this formation? If I don't leave, I might really be trapped to death in it. I guess you don't want to see me locked in there, right? Chapter 456, The Demon Lord's Obstruction. Not long after, the voice of the system rang directly in Bai Luo's mind. I don't have any other way. This is a test you have to go through. Whether you can withstand this test depends on you. Everything depends on you. I can't help you. After listening to the system's words, Bai Luo didn't plan to bargain with the system. Because he knew what the system was like. If it really rejected him in one breath, it would be useless. So Bai Luo sighed helplessly, and then turned his attention to the people of the demon realm around him. Just when Bai Luo was fighting with them wholeheartedly, the shape of a formation suddenly appeared in his mind. What's going on? Why does this formation look so familiar? After Bai Luo realized this, he knew why the formation was so familiar. Because that formation is the appearance of this formation now. Bai Luo didn't bother to think about why the appearance of this formation appeared in his mind. After all, there are not so many whys now. Although the people from the demon realm could not take his life, they were more numerous, so Bai Luo still had some difficulty dealing with them. He could not waste time with them. Just when he did not know what to do next, the pattern of the formation in his mind lit up again. What was going on? Just when Bai Luo was still thinking about this, a point suddenly lit up in the formation. What was the reason? Could it be a hint, or it must be very important? Although Bai Luo did not know what this meant, he had no other way now. So he could only take a gamble. Then Bai Luo dealt with the attacks launched by the people from the demon realm, and then slowly moved towards the glowing place in the pattern. The demon lord standing on it and looking down naturally noticed that Bai Luo was moving towards the direction of the erase eye. The demon lord in front did not think so much. After all, he did not think that Bai Luo could find the location of the erase eye so easily, so he thought it was just a coincidence. But he did not expect that Bai Luo was getting closer and closer to open his eyes, and everyone found that things were not that simple. After realizing this, the demon lord also became anxious. Seeing that the situation was gradually beyond his expectations, the demon lord above him also said directly to the people of the demon realm below, "Hurry up and stop him. Don't let him go in that direction." Understood. After listening to the demon lord's words, those subordinates immediately blocked Bai Luo's way. If Bai Luo was still a little hesitant about what that place was for before, now Bai Luo at least saw the attitude of the demon lord. The demon lord looked so flustered, thinking that that place must be a very critical point. So this also gave Bai Luo a certain confidence. Presumably that point may be the most important point to turn the tide of the battle. Although Bai Luo had been fighting with these people for a while, naturally he could not eliminate all of them, but it was more than enough to deal with them. Although his attack attribute was not so strong, compared with those big people in the demon realm, Bai Luo's speed could be considered very fast. When Bai Luo realized that point, he immediately rushed in that direction at a very fast speed. Then he appeared directly at that key point. Who knew that, when he just ran to this point, he saw Hualan trapped inside. He didn't expect Hualan to appear in this place, although he saw Hualan trapped inside when he was in the formation just now. But he was busy after he came in, so he didn't care about Hualan's situation anymore. But he didn't expect Hualan to be trapped in the most important point of this formation. Finally, Bai Luo also thought of something. Could it be that this is the center of the formation? However, Bai Luo looked inside from this direction and found that Hualan seemed to have been controlled. At least Hualan's range of action was restricted. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. After realizing this, he also knew what he should do next. Then Bai Luo didn't think about it anymore, and finally used his spiritual power to gather into a force, and then others directly attacked the center of the formation. If Hualan had no ability to destroy the center of the formation inside, it was completely different for Bai Luo outside. Bai Luo was not restricted at all outside. His situation was different from Hualan's, so it was not difficult to use some power to destroy the center of the formation. Just when Bai Luo attacked the center of the formation again, a powerful force suddenly jumped over. Bai Luo couldn't help but take a few steps back. This formation was destroyed by himself, because the entire formation had gathered into a powerful force just now. When Bai Luo destroyed the formation just now, he was hit by a strong impact. And because he destroyed the formation from inside, when the formation broke, some people inside were also backlashed by the formation. The situation changed drastically in an instant. Although the current situation looks very chaotic, Bai Luo knows that this is their opportunity. Then Bai Luo looked for Hualan in the crowd. But just when Bai Luo was about to find Hualan, suddenly, a huge monster from the demon realm suddenly appeared in this place. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Then he cast his eyes on the demon lord on the other side. As expected, the demon lord said this monster. Because this situation was not expected by the demon lord himself. The development of things was originally under his control, but he did not expect it to turn out like this. But the demon lord also noticed that Hualan was injured, although the formation just now was not completely successful. But at least part of his goal was achieved. Because some of them are not very important, as long as the demon lord can bring Hualan back to the demon realm and control Hualan, the demon lord believes that he can definitely get the power of the ancient immortals. So the demon lord knows that this is the most important thing. Just now, the Demon Lord wanted to summon this monster and take Hualan away quickly while everyone was still not reacting. Chapter 457, The Shrinking of the Demonic Domain Monster. Bai Luo, who was standing by, didn't expect that the Demon Lord would actually summon the Demon Realm Beast at this time, and the size of this Demon Realm Beast looked too scary. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo immediately summoned his weapon, because he knew that the current situation was not as good as he imagined. When he saw the direction where the Demon Lord summoned the Demon Realm Beast, Bai Luo vaguely guessed some of the Demon Lord's thoughts. After all, the formation just now was not for dealing with others, it was just to trap Hualan in it. Running in by himself was also beyond their plan. Bai Luo looked at the behemoth in front of him, and didn't know how to do it for a while. But just when Bai Luo was still thinking about this, Bai Luo smelled a little rabbit's breath on this monster. What on earth is going on? Just when Bai Luo was still thinking about this, the huge Demon Realm Beast was moving towards him. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe it's because of the breath of the Demon Realm Beast, the little rabbit. So Bai Luo didn't mean to be afraid. In Bai Luo's subconscious, he didn't think that this demon fish would attack him. So Bai Luo didn't make any preparations at all. Sure enough, the huge demon beast slowly squatted down. Then it showed a very intimate look to Bai Luo. After seeing this, Bai Luo couldn't help but laugh, and then he touched the demon beast beside him. The Demon Lord on the side didn't expect that things would develop like this. His last few trump cards were so easily resolved by Bai Luo, and the demon beast was also researched by himself with another bloodline, but he didn't expect it to rebel so easily. In fact, what the Demon Lord didn't know was that this demon beast was originally researched with the Teoti bloodline, so it was naturally closer to Bai Luo. Not only was the Demon Lord unexpected in this situation, but even the people of the Holy Land on the side were stunned after seeing this situation. They originally thought that there would be a tough battle to fight, but they didn't expect that the demon beast would rebel directly at this time. After realizing this, they were also somewhat amused, but they could not help but breathe a sigh of relief. After all, this demon beast looked quite large, and if they really fought, they would definitely not gain anything. After realizing this, the idiot on the other side knew that things could not go on like this, because he could not let Hualan go. Then the idiot planned to do it himself. So after no one noticed the situation here, the idiot quickly moved to Hualan's side, because Hualan had been seriously injured before. So now Hualan had no strength to resist him. Then the idiot grabbed Hualan's shoulder directly, and finally wanted to leave here directly. Hualan looked at the idiot next to him very angrily, and then said very coldly, "I advise you to take your dirty hands away quickly, otherwise don't blame me for being rude." This idiot would not listen to Hualan, and then cast a spell to leave here. Hualan's power had been suppressed before, but now the formation has been broken, so Hualan also recovered some of his power easily. Then others directly repelled the idiot on the side. The idiot didn't expect Hualan's mana to recover so quickly, so he looked at his chest in disbelief. He was hit by her palm just now. Then the idiot knew that he should not be able to take Hualan away. Although the idiot was very unwilling in his heart, there was no other way now. So the idiot could only leave quickly. Otherwise, when the people over there reacted, it was possible that he would really be left here. So the idiot could only retreat and leave quickly. Hualan was also able to stay because of this. Although the idiot has left now, Hualan is still very weak now. After all, the influence of the formation on him just now was not small, and the sudden burst of power he just now had to do his best. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. Fortunately, the effect was not bad in the end. I was on the other side, Bai Luo, looking at the huge monster next to him, and I didn't know what to do with him for a moment. Because now the formation has been cracked, and the idiot has left, so the saint and the 3 elders also came to Bai Luo. They were also a little surprised when they saw this situation. But Bai Luo still had other things to deal with, and then Bai Luo looked at the saint next to him, and finally said to the saint, "I don't have time to deal with this big guy now, otherwise I will give it to you first." After hearing Bai Luo's words, the saint on the side also nodded quickly. After all, this is not a very difficult thing. I don't have anything important to do now, so it's okay to take care of this big guy. But just when the saint was about to approach the monster, who knew that the monster took a few steps back, and the expression on his face didn't look very good, as if he was very resistant. After seeing this, the saintess beside him waved her hands helplessly and then said to Bai Luo in front of him, "What should we do now? This big guy doesn't want me to get close to him at all." Bai Luo didn't expect this to happen. He thought that this demon beast had a good temper, but he didn't expect that this demon beast had a bad temper. So Bai Luo couldn't help but smile and then patted the demon beast with his hand. "I didn't expect you to have a bad temper, but there is no other way now. I have other things to deal with. You are so big, I can't always carry you, otherwise you will destroy wherever you go." After hearing Bai Luo's words, the demon beast touched Bai Luo beside him with his head. Then something unexpected happened to Bai Luo, because the demon beast suddenly shrank in size. This is a reduction in proportion. I didn't expect it to shrink so much at once. At that time, I picked up the shrunken demon beast with some unbelievable. Then he smiled and said, "You're quite clever, my demon beast. Now that you've shrunk in size, I can always carry you with me. Otherwise, with your size, I can't always carry you around. It would be too scary." Chapter 458, Ending. After hearing Bai Luo's words, the demon beast immediately jumped up and down on Bai Luo's body. It looked very happy. Then Bai Luo observed the surrounding situation again, and finally saw Hualan squatting on the ground. He naturally knew that Hualan's current condition was not very good. After all, the formation just now was directed at her. Although Hualan's power was very strong, she was injured after all. Although Bai Luo knew that Hualan had always wanted his life, Bai Luo did not intend to settle accounts with Hualan now. After all, he was still alive and well. So Bai Luo also looked at the saint next to him, and finally said to the saint next to him, "Otherwise, when we leave later, let's ask Hualan to take her with us. Her current condition looks very bad." After listening to Bai Luo's words, the saint also cast her eyes on Hualan next to her. Indeed, Hualan's current condition looks very bad. Although the saint has always had a bad impression of Hualan, after seeing this situation now, the saint did not say much. Then he ordered his disciples to take Hualan with them. But Hualan's face was still very important, even though she was very weak now and needed help from the Holy Land. But Hualan still pretended to be strong and said, "You don't need to help me, I can walk by myself." Then Hualan stood up a little weakly, although it seemed that nothing happened. But the holy lady beside her couldn't stand it anymore, and then someone walked over and supported Hualan. "Let's go, don't be so hypocritical, you should follow us back to the Holy Land first. After all, it's not safe to stay here. If the idiot comes back again, you might be taken away directly." Hualan wanted to say something, but finally closed her mouth. In fact, she was just being stubborn, and she knew that, if she hadn't stopped their help, she might have been taken away by the idiot. Although the battle went quite smoothly this time, and although there were some accidents in the middle, the final result still looked very good. But the people around him were a little depressed. After all, this was a war they had been preparing for a long time. But he didn't expect that he would be just a bystander in the end. After all, Bai Luo had been the center of attention in this war, but they had to admit that they had won the order thanks to Bai Luo's help. If Bai Luo hadn't taken the initiative to step forward, the situation might have been reversed. So they could only feel uncomfortable. On the other side, the Great Elder also found Bai Luo, and then walked over and patted Bai Luo on the shoulder with a smile. "Thanks to you for this matter. If it weren't for your help, it's possible that those people from the demon realm would have succeeded this time. It just so happens that the situation has been stabilized by us now, and we can just clean up and return directly." Bai Luo smiled and waved his hand. This matter was just a piece of cake for him, and he was confident that he could help them, even though these people didn't know what their purpose was. It was nothing more than a task assigned by the system for him, and he had promised the system last time. Bai Luo naturally remembered the promise between the system and himself, so he didn't think he was selfless. Looking at the sincere face of the elder in front of him, Bai Luo smiled and said, "These are just a little effort. You don't have to take it to heart. In fact, after this war, the elder had a better understanding of Bai Luo's strength. He didn't expect Bai Luo's strength to reach this level. So he was still a little shocked, and at the same time, he felt that Bai Luo was very spiritual. The elder kept smiling at Bai Luo in front of him. Although Bai Luo's expression looked a little indifferent, the elder was still very satisfied. What the elder didn't expect was that although Bai Luo seemed to be talking to him now, but in his heart, he had already called the system, because now the task assigned to him by the system has been completed, and the system should also fulfill its promise at that time. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. So Bai Luo said directly to the system. Now that the conflict between the two families has been resolved, how long will it take to fulfill your promise? The internet cafe should be powered on now, right? Because it noticed what was happening here, the system also answered Bai Luo directly. Don't worry about this. Since I promised you something, I will not easily regret it. You have indeed handled this matter very well. Now the internet cafe has been powered on. After hearing what the system said, Bai Luo was instantly happy. I didn't expect the system to be powered on so quickly. Then Bai Luo was in a very good mood. After that, he wanted to leave here quickly and go back to the internet cafe later. On the other side, the elder didn't know that Bai Luo was talking to the system. Seeing the happy expression on Bai Luo's face, the elder also told Bai Luo what he had just thought. Bai Luo, why don't you be a Jinmin elder in our holy land? We won't have too many restrictions on you for the time being, but you can participate in our big and small decision-making matters, and you can also have certain rights. This is also our reward for your help to us this time. Bai Luo didn't expect the elder to have such an idea, so he couldn't help but be stunned. But Bai Luo had no interest in this matter at all, although it seemed to sound pretty good. After all, he didn't have to spend any effort, and he just got an extra job title for no reason. But Bai Luo didn't want to be bound by these things. And these things were not important to Bai Luo at all. Then Bai Luo didn't hesitate, and then shook his head and refused. That's not necessary. I have my own selfish reasons for helping you in this war, so you don't have to keep it in mind. Besides, my ambition is not here, so I never have such an intention. Bai Luo's tone was very firm, and he didn't mean to back down. The elder on the side naturally knew that Bai Luo would not agree, so he didn't force Bai Luo. After all, it's not good to force someone to do something difficult. So the elder nodded, and then said to Bai Luo in front of him, if you don't agree to this, you can't leave now. Although you think this is just a piece of cake, it really helps our bodies a lot. You have to let us thank you, otherwise it would be too disrespectful to us. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 459, The Great Elder's Concession. After hearing what the elder said, Bai Luo was also somewhat helpless. It was indeed difficult to deal with human relationships. But the elder had already said so much, and he could not refuse directly. So Bai Luo finally suppressed his temper and nodded in compromise. Although he really wanted to go back to the internet cafe as soon as possible, he could not give them any face. Okay, let's go. After returning to the Holy Land, the people in the demon realm had basically dealt with them. But in the end, they still encountered a thorny problem, that is, how to deal with Hualan. Perhaps because this matter was indeed controversial, Bai Luo was called over when Hualan was dealt with. The saint was also here. In fact, the saint had never liked Hualan in her heart, but she had always been unable to do anything because of Hualan's identity. Although the saint did not want to embarrass Hualan, she still felt that some things should be taken responsibility for their actions. After all, Hualan did not embarrass them this time. When she heard that the three elders decided to let Hualan go directly, the saint also stood up at this time. Why don't you give her any punishment at all? It was clearly her fault. Although it was a close call, it was not because of Bai Luo's help that the people from the demon realm succeeded. Can you imagine what the result would be? The saint's face was not good at all. In the end, she looked at Hualan very angrily. Hualan ignored them and still acted superior. After seeing Hualan like this, the saint was even more angry. In fact, what the saint said was right. Hualan helped the demon realm a lot, both openly and secretly. If it were someone else, this matter would be very easy to handle. After all, it would be fine. But Hualan's identity is indeed very special. He is a person with the blood of the ancient immortals. Logically speaking, these people are Hualan's descendants. Moreover, the elders also respect the ancient immortals very much, so they don't want to, and have no position to punish Hualan. Finally, the elders backed off, and then someone walked up to the saint, and then patted her on the shoulder. Don't get excited, we will decide this matter. The saint looked at the expressions on the faces of the three elders, and then she knew what the three elders were going to say. But she had no other way. After all, this matter still had to be decided by the elders. The saint could only show some dissatisfaction on her face. As expected by the saint, the three elders also said directly, although Hualan, you did do some things that harmed the interests of our holy land, but considering that you are the blood of the ancient immortals, and you are also used by the people of the demon realm, so the past things will be forgiven. I hope you can be more reasonable in the future, and never be used by the people of the demon realm to do things that harm the people of the world. After hearing what her elder said, the saint rolled her eyes. But she didn't say much. After all, the elders have already said so, and it is impossible for me not to give them face. But what you all didn't expect is that Hualan is really stubborn. I don't know if it's because of face. I saw that Hualan was still as high and mighty as before. After listening to what the three elders said to her, she also raised her head proudly. Then she said to the people around her with some contempt, I'm someone you can teach a lesson to. You dare not punish me, even if you have the courage. After all, there is a hierarchy in this world. You must not mess up the seniority. Although I'm in a bad situation now, I will not be taught a lesson by people like you. After hearing what Hualan said, the expressions on the faces of the three elders were also a little embarrassed. After all, they are also elders in the Holy Land. I didn't expect Hualan to not give them such a little face. Moreover, Hualan was wrong in this matter. They originally wanted to give Hualan a face, but they didn't expect Hualan to not appreciate it at all. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. The saint on the side couldn't stand it anymore. She thought the punishment was too light, but she didn't expect Hualan to be so ungrateful. But before the saint could speak, Bai Luo on the side stood up. He originally thought that the three elders of the Holy Land had done their best, even though Hualan was indeed used by the people of the demon realm and suffered in the end. But no matter what, the Holy Land was kind to Hualan and finally rescued Hualan from the hands of the demon lord. But Hualan was still like this. So Bai Luo stood up and said it. Don't teach us a lesson about blood. After all, we only know that this incident is indeed your fault. People like us. If it weren't for people like us who saved you, you don't know if you can still stay in this world now. After all, your power was completely suppressed in the formation at that time. If we chose to stand by and watch, would you still be alive and standing here now? When he said this, Bai Luo couldn't help but snorted coldly and then continued. We are just giving you some face now, so you'd better not be too complacent, otherwise we are also capable of sending you back to the demon realm. But Hualan didn't have any intention of regretting it. Then he looked at Bai Luo in front of him. Don't be hypocritical here. If you hadn't been making trouble inside, would I be deceived by those people in the demon realm? So you'd better not make yourself so clean. You also contributed to my moving fields today. Bai Luo was now speechless and finally didn't plan to say anything more because he knew that Hualan looked down on them in his bones. So Bai Luo also felt that there was no need to waste words with such a person. So Bai Luo also nodded and then said to the elder on the side, if that's the case, then we don't have much to do. Since Hualan is dissatisfied with our handling, I think the previous handling can be revoked. After hearing what Bai Luo said, the elder on the side also felt that this was indeed the case. They didn't need to protect Hualan all the time, but the elder didn't want to add insult to injury, and then looked at the saint on the side. Then he said to the saint, if that's the case, we don't want to keep you anyway, saint. You can go and settle Hualan. We don't want to care about other things. Chapter 460, Unpredictable. After hearing what the elder said, the saint was naturally very happy. Then she asked the disciples to take Hualan out together. However, the saint did not want to let Hualan leave comfortably. After all, she remembered the contemptuous look of Hualan just now. Then the saint did not properly settle Hualan, but directly locked Hualan up. But the saint would not embarrass her, but would restrict her freedom of movement now. On the other side, the elder and Bai Luo were still in the hall, and there was nothing for him to do here, so he didn't want to leave. Because he had to go back to the internet cafe quickly. After all, the internet cafe was already powered on. Bai Luo didn't think he had to stay here for any reason. So he said directly to the elder in front of him, if there is nothing else, I will leave first. After all, there are still many things in the internet cafe that need me to deal with. After hearing what Bai Luo said, the elder on the other side also quickly took out Bai Luo. Don't worry. Although I know that many things are not attractive to you, I really want to thank you very much this time. If it weren't for your help, we don't know what the result would be. So I have discussed with the elders and want to hold a celebration banquet for us at Shengli and thank you very much at the same time. After hearing the words of the elder, Bai Luo was a little embarrassed for a while. In fact, he didn't like this kind of occasion, but now the elder had said so. It was not easy for him to say anything to refuse. But in fact, it didn't matter if he stayed for 2 more days. Anyway, he would leave at that time. So Bai Luo didn't say much, just nodded. Okay, let's do it this way first. The elder acted very quickly, and the celebration banquet was held not long after. The celebration banquet was quite lively, and Bai Luo could see that the Holy Land had also spent a lot of money. At the celebration banquet, the elder took the initiative to toast Bai Luo with a glass of wine, and then said some words of thanks to Bai Luo. Bai Luo was tired of hearing these words, so he didn't listen carefully. But it happened that these people didn't keep the topic around him. On the other side, the Great Elder also directly led the topic to the saint. The Great Elder also said directly to the saint at the celebration banquet, you are not young now, girl. At your age, you can really think about finding a suitable husband. In fact, the reason why the Great Elder said these words was because of Bai Luo. After all, he didn't want to let Bai Luo leave so easily. After all, Bai Luo was a rare talent, but Bai Luo didn't seem to have any intention of staying now, so the Great Elder was thinking in his heart whether he could let the saint find a way to keep Bai Luo. After all, he had mentioned some benefits to Bai Luo, but Bai Luo refused. The Great Elder didn't know what could keep Bai Luo. So in the end, he wanted to find a way through the saint. After listening to the words of the Great Elder, the saint couldn't help but look at Bai Luo next to him. Then he felt embarrassed to say such things in this occasion, so he directly said to the elder on the side, Elder, please stop teasing me, otherwise I will be laughed at if others hear it. However, Bai Luo on the side did not pay attention to the situation here at all, but ate alone. After all, it was a celebration banquet, right? The food on the table was quite good. So Bai Luo just listened to their conversation for fun. However, he noticed that the saint kept looking at him, but he did not think much about it, just felt that the saint was a little strange. After seeing this situation, the elder continued to talk on the side. What's there to be embarrassed about? Since you have reached the age of marriage, you can talk about this matter. You should find a good husband for you as soon as possible, don't you think, Bai Luo? Bai Luo did not expect why this topic would suddenly involve himself, so he was stunned for a moment, but soon he put his smile back. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR is the first to publish this novel. Elder, what you said is quite right, but the saint girl has just come of age, so there is no need to rush this matter. Then the Great Elder wanted to say something. In fact, the saint girl on the other side had already guessed something, and then quickly interrupted the Great Elder. Elder, please stop talking, I already know about this matter. After hearing what the Great Elder said, he did not say anything more. After all, some things can be stopped at the right time. As for whether Bai Luo can understand it, it depends on himself. In fact, the saint girl still has that kind of thoughts about Bai Luo now, but she does not want to say it here. After all, she is not sure of Bai Luo's thoughts now, so she has to wait and see how it develops next. However, the saint girl also knew that Bai Luo would leave soon, so after the celebration banquet, the saint girl also came to find Bai Luo. Bai Luo did not think much about it, thinking that the saint girl had something important to discuss with him. Then Bai Luo came to the place where the saint girl and he agreed. After he came, he saw the saint girl who was waiting for him there. Bai Luo didn't think much about it and walked over. "You asked me out so late? Is there something you want to discuss with me?" The saint next to him looked at Bai Luo, then lowered her head a little embarrassedly. Then she organized her words in her mind. "In fact, there is no other reason for asking you out this time. I'm just really grateful to you for this matter. If it weren't for your help, the Holy Land might have really suffered a catastrophe. You are really a very good person. Not only is your heart kind, but your ability is also very strong. So I have always admired you very much, and I want to stay by your side in the future." Bai Luo couldn't help but frowned after hearing what the saint said. What does the saint mean? Why does she always follow him? Does she want to go back to the internet cafe with him? But he doesn't need anyone there. Does the saint want to be a servant in his own bar? Although the saint's words were very sincere and she also said a lot of words to thank Bai Luo actually felt that he was not as great as she said because he had his own selfish motives in participating in this matter. After all, this was a task assigned to him by the system, and if he completed it, he could also power up the internet cafe. Chapter 461 Big Straight Man. So after hearing what the saint said, Bai Luo was a little embarrassed. "Don't say that for now. I have my own plans for participating in this matter this time. It's not just for you, so don't make me sound so good." Then Bai Luo looked at the saint next to him, and then answered her another question. "Stay by my side forever? What are you talking about? You should know that I will leave soon. After all, I won't stay in the Holy Land forever. I have to go back to the internet cafe." After hearing what Bai Luo said, the saint immediately said, "Of course I know this, but I can also go back to the internet cafe with you. Now that things here are almost dealt with, there is no need for me to stay here." Seeing the saint so determined, Bai Luo didn't know how to answer her for a while. Then he said to the saint with some embarrassment, "But there is no shortage of people in the internet cafe, and it won't be of any use for you to go there." Could it be that the saint also wants to improve her cultivation through the internet cafe? But now that the internet cafe has electricity, there is no big problem for the saint to practice there. Even when Bai Luo was still thinking about this, the saint continued to speak. "Don't worry, I will never disturb you, but I still hope you can take me with you. I will never do anything beyond the rules." After hearing what the saint said, Bai Luo couldn't refuse her for a while. Finally, he sighed helplessly. "You can do this. Anyway, it doesn't matter if there is one more person, but if you want to go, you must promise me one thing, otherwise I won't take you back." Hearing Bai Luo say this, the saint was a little confused, and then she spoke directly. "What request?" In fact, Bai Luo wanted to stay there for a long time when he returned to the internet cafe this time. After all, the internet cafe is now powered on. But last time, the saint and the great elder took those ancient strongmen to their internet cafe, even though there was no accident. But Bai Luo always felt that he didn't want to have too much to do with the Holy Land. After all, there have been a lot of things recently, and many of them were caused by the Holy Land. At the same time, Bai Luo stood there blankly, not knowing what he was thinking. The saint must have drunk too much, so she acted like that just now. "I had no choice just now, so I did that." But I looked down and found that some disciples had already noticed this situation and saw the saint thrown to the ground. Not long after, a group of people gathered below. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo couldn't help but step back a few steps. After weighing the pros and cons, Bai Luo finally decided to leave here quickly. After all, those people knew the saint's status in the Holy Land. If they knew that it was him who threw the saint down, they might come back to trouble him. Bai Luo looked at the saint who was still unconscious below and finally said to himself, I'm sorry, but you were the first to start this time. See you next time if we are lucky. After saying this, Bai Luo left here quickly. On the other side, the Great Elder was drinking well at the celebration banquet. Although some bad things did happen before, the Great Elder didn't care about what happened there later. But he didn't expect the disciples below to run over in a hurry. Grand Elder, we just found the saint over there and found that she had fallen and was injured. After hearing this, the Grand Elder was stunned for a moment and then he woke up. What's going on? How is the saint now? Take me back to see. Then the Grand Elder didn't care about the banquet here and asked the disciples below to take him there quickly. He was still worried about the safety of the saint, but he didn't expect why the saint suddenly fell and was injured. After all, the saint left here with Bai Luo at that time. How could she suddenly appear over there alone? And now there is no trace of Bai Luo. On the other side, Bai Luo has returned to the internet cafe through the transmission certificate. When he arrived at the door of the internet cafe, Bai Luo found that the internet cafe was indeed powered on as the system said. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo was also very happy. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. That means that what he did during this period was not in vain. At least the internet cafe has been restored to its original state. However, when Bai Luo arrived at the door, he found that the atmosphere was a little strange. Why did he feel that the internet cafe was so quiet? Then Bai Luo searched for a while in the internet cafe, but he couldn't find the little rabbit. Where did the little rabbit go? Logically, he should be here. Why didn't he find him after searching for a long time? Did he go out to play secretly? Finally, Bai Luo found Leng Yu who stayed here. After not finding the little rabbit, Bai Luo asked Leng Yu about the situation here. Leng Yu, have you seen the little rabbit here? Where did he go? Why can't I find any trace of him? After listening to Bai Luo's words, Leng Yu looked around. She actually knew where the little rabbit went, but she didn't want to tell Bai Luo about it. After all, this matter insisted on too many things, and it would be useless for Bai Luo to know. Leng Yu herself hadn't seen the little rabbit for a while, but she didn't have time to care about it during this period. After all, she didn't even deal with her own affairs. So Leng Yu was also stunned, and then looked at Bai Luo dumbly, and then shook his head. I don't know about this. I haven't seen Zhao 2 for a long time. Maybe he went out to play somewhere. You don't have to worry too much. Seeing the strange expression on Leng Yu's face, coupled with Leng Yu's vague answer, Bai Luo also felt that something was wrong with this matter, but Bai Luo still trusted Leng Yu and didn't think that Leng Yu would make any calculations behind his back. So he just thought that something must have happened. Then Bai Luo slowly said to Leng Yu in front of him, during the time I was away, did something happen here? I see that the expression on your face doesn't seem to be very good, and the situation here is also a little wrong. Did something really happen? Leng Yu didn't expect Bai Luo to find out so quickly, so she was a little panicked for a while. Bai Luo saw that Leng Yu seemed unwilling to tell him, but now the situation seemed a little bad. It should not be a small matter. Chapter 460 to Leng Yu's narration. So Bai Luo continued to ask, just tell me what happened. Don't think you can hide some things from me. I will know it in the end anyway. It's not terrible if some accidents happen. Anyway, we can work together to solve this matter. If you don't say it, I have no way, so tell me quickly. Listening to Bai Luo's sincere words, Leng Yu knew that he really couldn't play anymore. After all, you can't hide from the 15th day. This matter is not a small matter. Bai Luo will know it one day. So Leng Yu sat down directly and then looked at Bai Luo beside him. Then he slowly explained the situation here to Bai Luo. Nothing happened on our side, but something happened on the side of Kanglang country and our Yang family. You also know that Kanglang country has reached an agreement with our Yang family, and now the two countries are also in a cooperative relationship, but I didn't expect that our Yang family didn't know what happened. This is directly using the name of cooperation to disarm the elite troops of Kanglang country. Now the contradiction between the two countries has intensified. They have started fighting some time ago, but the overall strength of Kanglang country is not as good as our family, so Kanglang country is also retreating step by step and will soon be destroyed. After hearing Leng Yu's narration, Bai Luo was also stunned. He didn't expect things to suddenly turn out like this. After all, when he came back last time, he heard everyone say that our family had reached a cooperative relationship with Kanglang country, but he didn't expect it to suddenly turn out like this now. He really didn't want me to believe that our family could actually do such a thing, and he still trusted our Yang Chen and our Yang Zhu very much. Why did things turn out like this? Bai Luo's face was also very ugly. Then he looked at Leng Yu in front of him again, and then continued to ask, "Where is Xiao Tu now?" After hearing Bai Luo's question, Leng Yu shook her head helplessly. "I don't know either. It was our Yang Zhu who came to inform Xiao Tu, and then Xiao Tu left here. She should have gone to deal with this matter, but I don't know where she is now. I can only wait and see if there is any news or notification later." After hearing Leng Yu's words, Bai Luo fell into silence for a while. He really didn't understand why things turned out like this, and he didn't understand why the two countries suddenly started a war. After all, the cooperation between the two countries has been quite good recently. Although there have been some minor conflicts in the middle, they are harmless. No matter how you look at it, the cooperation between the two countries is mutually beneficial and win-win. He didn't understand why things suddenly turned out like this, and the two countries directly started a war. So Bai Luo said to Leng Yu on the side with some disappointment, "Why do you think they would start a war? Everything was fine before I left, but why did it suddenly become like this? I remember that they said they would cooperate well last time. Why did they suddenly do this again?" Leng Yu didn't know what was going on over there. After all, they were still handling some small matters in the cooperation some time ago. Unexpectedly, the Yang family would take action now. Bai Luo didn't think that our Yang Chen and our Yang Zhu would support such an action of the Yang family. After all, Bai Luo knew the attitudes of our Yang Chen and our Yang Zhu before. Although they were members of the Yang family, they still had a strong sense of justice. How could they suddenly do such a thing? Leng Yu's expression was also very disappointed, and then he continued, "I don't know about this either. Anyway, it happened quite suddenly. At that time, Bao Yang Chen and the others suddenly said that they wanted to go back home to visit, and then they didn't come back for a long time, and then this happened." After hearing Leng Yu's words, Bai Luo also felt that this matter was very suspicious, but there was no time to find any clues. He looked at Leng Yu in front of him, and finally patted Leng Yu on the shoulder. "Don't worry too much about this matter, but now I'm back, so I will do my best to help you." After hearing Bai Luo's serious words, Leng Yu nodded. She naturally knew that she couldn't save Kanglang country, even if she was in a bad mood, so she pursed her lips. "I know, I will adjust my mood well. After all, Kanglang still needs me." After hearing Leng Yu's words, Bai Luo couldn't help but smile. That couldn't be better. After all, the situation is urgent now, and they have other more important things to do, and they can't be immersed in this sad mood all the time. Then Bai Luo also said to Leng Yu in front of him, "The error-free version is read at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 + BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Anyway, now that I'm back, take me there to see the situation." Leng Yu nodded, and then took Bai Luo directly to the main city of Kanglang country. Because the Yang family was unstoppable all the way, Kanglang country couldn't stop them at all. Now these people have reached the main city of Kanglang country. The situation is very urgent. If they continue to lose, they may really be destroyed. So Xiao also led the troops to fight against the people of the Yang family. On the other side, Xiao Tu was watching the situation below on the city wall. After all, he couldn't leave here now, and he couldn't be sure how long it would take for the people below to attack them again. So Xiao Tu was guarding the city, while sitting and observing the situation below with a frown. In fact, after these days of fighting, Xiao Tu also saw some clues. In fact, these days, the Yang family attacked the Kanglang kingdom with great momentum. It was not only that the Yang family had seized the Kanglang kingdom from the beginning, but also that the strength of the Kanglang kingdom's troops suddenly increased a lot. Xiao too was watching the videos of the battle below. He found that the warriors of the Yang family suddenly showed many moves that he had never used. What's going on? Did they suddenly learn it? Or were these people ready to deal with them? From the beginning, these people had already planned to stab them in the back. Thinking of this, the expression on Xiao 2's face became even uglier. But he was not in the mood to think so much now, because the situation below did not look optimistic. Although Xiao led his team to fight desperately below, after all, the people brought by the Yang family were not vegetarians. So Xiao 2 standing on the wall was still very nervous, and followed every move below. Just as Xiao 2 devoted himself to the situation below, he found a very familiar breath next to me. Chapter 463, Strange Yang Chen. But after confirming this breath, Xiao 2 quickly drew out the sword at his waist, and then stepped back a few steps alertly. Sure enough, he turned around, and saw Yang Chen standing behind him. After seeing this situation, Xiao 2 couldn't help but frowned. He didn't expect why Yang Chen suddenly appeared here. Looking at Yang Chen in front of him, Xiao 2 also had a lot of doubts in his heart. After all, he didn't believe that Yang Chen could do such a thing before. In his impression, Yang Chen was not such a person. But Yang Chen is indeed doing such a thing now. Thinking of this, Xiao 2 spoke directly. Yang Chen, what are you doing? You are not involved in this matter, are you? Do you remember what you said before? You were the one who arranged the cooperation between Kanglang country and our Yang family. Why did you suddenly turn the tables? Can't you give us an explanation? Yang Chen ignored Xiao 2. After listening to Xiao 2's words, he just looked at Xiao 2 in front of him very coldly. Then he immediately attacked Xiao 2. After seeing this, the expression on Xiao 2's face became even uglier. What is going on? Why does Yang Chen feel like a different person? But there is no way to worry about it now, because Yang Chen has already rushed towards him with a sword. If he doesn't pay attention, he will be in real danger. So Xiao 2 has been dealing with Yang Chen's attack. But what others can't think of is that some people have already planned everything. Yang Chen is just a cover. He is just attracting Xiao 2's attention in front. Xiao 2 is fully committed to this battle. Who knows that there is a sound behind? Then Xiao 2 turned around and found that there were several people surrounding him. Xiao 2 had seen these people before. Aren't they Yang Chen's good brothers? These people are really scheming. If he hadn't noticed it just now, he would have been killed by them by now. But now this group of people has surrounded him, even though his strength is not weaker than this. But he can't do anything alone. These people are very tacit. After looking at each other, they immediately attacked Xiao 2. Xiao 2 also had some difficulty dealing with these people attacking him one by one, and finally Xiao 2 felt a little tired. If he hadn't been restricted by this body, these people would have died by now. After all, it is a human body, so Xiao 2 can't exert all his strength. But now Xiao 2 can't break free of this body, so Xiao 2 has no way out at all. Seeing the situation in front of him getting worse and worse, Xiao 2 couldn't help but curse Bai Luo in his heart. Why did he suddenly leave the internet cafe at this time? It has become like this now. I have to deal with everything. If I say it here today, I will not let you go. I have persisted for so long, but Bai Luo has not come yet. I don't know what they are doing. On the other side, Bai Luo has now rushed to the vicinity of the city. He also saw most of the large troops of the Yang family here. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo didn't care about anything else and flew directly into the city. After all, he also knew that the situation was urgent and he had no time to waste. The current situation is worse than he expected. The main city is about to fall, and he really came a little late. If he came back earlier, many things would not become like this. The situation here is very chaotic, but Bai Luo still knows what to do next. Then Bai Luo found the location of Xiao through positioning. Then he hurriedly ran in that direction. I saw that Xiao's current situation is not good, and there are many wounds on her body. After all, the enemy is outnumbered, and Xiao has now given up. Then Bai Luo looked at a man holding a sword, and went to follow him. After seeing the owner of the sword, Bai Luo was stunned. It was Yang Zhu. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel. But Bai Luo didn't have so much time to waste, and he quickly stopped them. After seeing this, Bai Luo didn't stop, but attacked Yangzu again. On the other side, Yangzu didn't expect Bai Luo to appear suddenly, so she was caught off guard. Bai Luo waved his hand and knocked her to the ground. Then, he didn't know if it was Bai Luo's illusion, but he suddenly felt a wave of spiritual power. Yangzu, who was knocked to the ground, covered her head in pain. When Yangzu stood up again, she looked around in disbelief. Bai Luo didn't care about him first, and then he quickly walked over to help Zinao up. Just when Bai Luo was about to deal with Yangzu, he found that Yangzu seemed to have collapsed. He didn't expect Yangzu to cry at this time. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo's expression was very ugly. What was wrong with him? Why did he feel that everything was so strange, as if someone was behind it? Then Bai Luo slowly approached Yangzu. Finally, he heard Yangzu muttering over there, I'm sorry. Then Yangzu also fell into memories. She remembered very clearly that when Yang ancestor proposed this matter to them, she clearly refused it. At that time, Yang Chen also stood on her side and helped her persuade Yang ancestor. But I don't know what happened later. My body suddenly lost control of myself. In the end, I said a lot of things I didn't want to say and did a lot of things I didn't want to do. Then when I woke up again, I saw the terrible situation around me. She saw that she was covered in blood, and the feeling of sadness in her heart surged up. Did I do all these things? How could it become like this? Why did I become this kind of person? Bai Luo found that something was wrong with this matter, and he walked back and squatted directly in front of Yangzu, and then someone said directly, Yangzu, what happened here? What does your current behavior mean? Chapter 464. The situation is not optimistic. Bai Luo's tone was still a little cold. After all, he had just seen Yangzu's every move. After seeing Bai Luo in front of him, Yangzu immediately shook her head. Finally, she hurriedly explained, is this really not our own will? We can't control our actions at all. And my brother, we are not willing. He was forced to inherit the throne of the Yang family. Now even my father is controlled. When she said this, Yangzu's eyes were full of fear. Bai Luo on the side also quickly grasped the key points of Yangzu's words, and then immediately asked, if this is really the case, then who is the initiator behind it? Yangzu recalled the situation at that time, and then she was very clear in her mind. After all, the person who proposed to annex the Kanglang kingdom at that time was their ancestor. Although Yangzu had rejected the ancestor's request at that time, it must be because of this that it became like this now. Yangzu hesitated for a moment, and then did not think about it anymore, but directly said to Bai Luo in front of him, it should be our ancestors. The current situation is not optimistic. I don't know what the ancestors will do. My brother has taken several other brothers to find Zhao too. We have to go there quickly. Otherwise, if we delay any more time, I don't know if Zhao too will encounter other dangers. After all, the task she got this time was to deal with the things here. On the other side, Yang Chen was naturally sent to deal with Zhao too. Now that he is awake, he still has some impressions of some things in the past. So Yangzu also hurriedly reminded Bai Luo to help Zhao to quickly. Bai Luo still believes in Yangzu. After all, the expression on Yangzu's face now does not seem to be pretending. And he also thinks this matter is very suspicious. Now if it is really according to what Yangzu said, then everything can be explained. It is not that they deliberately want to deal with his Kanglang country, but they are controlled by someone. So now things have become like this. So Bai Luo also nodded quickly, and then looked at the situation around him. Okay, then I'll go over first. As for the things here, I'll leave it to you. I'll deal with the things over there first. Yangzu nodded, and then watched Bai Luo hurriedly walk to the side. After Bai Luo left, he went directly to the direction that Yangzu had pointed out just now to find Zhao too. If it was really as Yangzu said, Zhao too's current situation was very dangerous. So Bai Luo couldn't help but speed up his pace. And Yangzu, who stayed behind, naturally knew that she had to deal with things here quickly. because the situation here didn't look optimistic. The troops she brought here and the soldiers from the Kanglang kingdom were also fighting. Now that her mind has been restored and she can control her body, Gao Yangzu also hurriedly stopped them. Then she ordered the soldiers she brought here. The order has changed now. Everyone quickly leave the city. Although the soldiers below were indeed a little surprised, it was after all the order from Yangzu. Although they are now unstoppable, the princess's order is an order, and they dare not disobey it. Then, they hurriedly retreated to the back. At the same time, Gao Yangzu didn't care about the things here anymore, because he knew that there were some things that he still needed to deal with. Then others went directly to the direction where Bai Luo ran just now, because she knew that the situation over there must be even worse. On the other side, Xiaotu was fighting with Yang Chen and the others. Although there were more people, Xiaotu could still barely deal with them. Just when Xiaotu was fighting with them, another person appeared behind him. This person looked very ordinary, as if he was just a soldier. At this time, Xiaotu didn't think much about it and rushed over with his weapon. But he didn't expect that this person just gave him a palm, and then Xiaotu fell directly to the ground. Who is this person? How could it be so strong there? Xiaotu couldn't even react, and then he was knocked to the ground directly. After realizing this, Xiaotu also looked at the person directly. Then he saw another soul under the human face of the person. That was the ancestor of the Yang family. After realizing this, Xiaotu's face was also very ugly. It turned out that the ancestor had taken over another body. Read the error-free version at 69 Shuba. 6 = 9 plus SHU_BA published this novel for the first time when Aoyang Shizu saw the little rabbit in front of him, which had no ability to resist. His expression became even more distorted. After all, he knew that the little rabbit was a very precious spiritual beast. If he used it for food, it would definitely be very helpful to his own skills. Thinking of this, Aoyang Shizu couldn't help laughing. Then he planned to give the little rabbit a final blow. Anyway, he sent Yang Chen and others here, just to attract the attention of the little rabbit. Now things are going very smoothly. Just when Aoyang Shizu was about to give the little rabbit a final blow, Bai Luo rushed over at this time. When he ran over, he saw this scene. Because there was no time for him to react, Bai Luo didn't even think about it, and directly used a very strong internal force to hit the man who wanted to attack the little rabbit. Then the man was directly knocked away. Then Bai Luo hurried over and helped the little rabbit up. Are you okay? Xiaotu shook his head and then looked forward. I'm not in a big trouble, but look ahead. Bai Luo's attack just now had caused the body occupied by Yang Ancestor to be damaged suddenly, so Yang Ancestor's soul was also shaken out. When he saw this situation at that time, he couldn't help but be stunned. It turned out that Yang Ancestor had come here. But this is also good. After all, this person is the initiator of this matter. Bai Luo will find him to settle accounts later. Otherwise, this matter cannot be handled. At this time, Gao Yangzu also ran over, because the things over there were handled. When she ran over, she saw this scene. After that, she looked at the weak Xiaotu on the side, and then quickly healed Xiaotu. After all, Gao Yangzu is still very good at this. On the other side, Yang Ancestor saw that things were not good. After all, Bai Luo had already rushed here, and the body he now occupies is also broken. So Yang Ancestor is also very clear about the current situation, and then quickly explained to Bai Luo in front of him. Chapter 465 Negotiation. Since the two countries have already started a war, we are enemies. This is what we have to do, and I'm doing so much only for the benefit of the Yang family. Then Bai Luo didn't know what the Yang Ancestor was talking about. These were all illogical words, and Bai Luo knew that the Yang Ancestor was just trying to explain. Haha. Bai Luo couldn't help but sneer. Then he asked directly, don't make your relationship so clear. Although I know you are doing it for the benefit of the Yang family, look at what you did. Now Kangnan country and the Yang family are clearly in a cooperative relationship, but you suddenly betrayed them. Look at what a mess you have made here. When he said this, Bai Luo took a few steps forward. I don't know why you suddenly gave in so easily. I thought there was a tough battle to fight. You controlled our Yangzu and our Yang Chen to do things for you. Haven't you ever thought about their wishes? Forcing them to do things they don't want to do. Is this what you want to see? Bai Luo's eyes were very cruel. He really didn't understand why the Aang ancestor did this. Now Bai Luo seemed to have thought of something again, and then he cast a spell to help Aang Chen and the others get rid of the control. Perhaps because Aang ancestor was already injured, it didn't take much effort for Bai Luo to help these people get rid of the control. Because even if he didn't get rid of the control, Aang ancestor would not be able to control them. After dealing with the things over there, Bai Luo continued to deal with Aang ancestor in front of him. Aang ancestor didn't continue to talk, but slowly stood up. Then he planned to attack Bai Luo. Then Bai Luo quickly stepped back a few steps, and after taking out his weapon, he wanted to rush over directly. The little rabbit that had been beaten and injured just now was also healed by Aang Zu at this time. After all, Bai Luo knew that the strength of this little rabbit was definitely extraordinary, and sure enough, the little rabbit stood up at this time. Bai Luo also felt a strong fluctuation of spiritual power. Then he looked at the little rabbit and found that the little rabbit's true body had actually been exposed. That was the true body of Teoti. This powerful aura alone made Bai Luo feel a little untenable. Bai Luo had already thought that the little rabbit was very powerful before. Now that he had seen the little rabbit's true form, he really felt that a spirit beast was a spirit beast, and it was not something that ordinary humans could compare to. After seeing this situation, Aang ancestor, who was ready to fight Bai Luo just now, quickly withdrew his hand. Although his current strength has declined, he still knows that he can't afford to offend Bai Luo and his men. Then the little rabbit also called out directly. Then the Aang ancestor involuntarily stepped back a few steps. After seeing this situation, several other princes on the side also quickly knelt down and begged for mercy. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo didn't know what to say for a while. After all, the situation now seems to be completely under control. Then the little rabbit also walked step by step in front of Aang ancestor, exuding a very fierce aura. It seemed that he wanted to take Aang ancestor's life. Xiao naturally didn't care about this life. After all, if Bai Luo hadn't arrived in time, he might have been eaten by the half-human half-ghost thing in front of him. So Xiao naturally had no reason to hesitate. Just as Xiao was getting closer and closer to the Aang ancestor, Aang Chen suddenly rushed out. He looked at Xiao in front of him, and then looked at Bai Luo beside him. Let's take a long-term view of all this. Only people can judge the ancestor at that time. Let's let the ancestor go for now. After all, everything he did was for the good of the Aang family, and it didn't cause any tragedy in the end, so please forgive him. Bai Luo, who was standing by, had an ugly expression on his face after seeing this situation. The scene he feared the most still happened. Although the relationship between the Aang family and the Kanglang kingdom was not bad, the final instigator was only the ancestor of the Aang family. But now things have happened, although they didn't succeed in the end. How many people were lost in this? Only they know how much damage was caused. Read the error-free version at 69 Shuba. 6 equals 9 plus SHU_BAR released this novel for the first time. So Bai Luo felt that Aang Chen's words were somewhat contradictory. But he and Aang Chen had a pretty good relationship, so Bai Luo didn't know how to make a decision for a while. On the other side, after seeing Aang Chen in front of the Aang ancestor, Xiao didn't know whether to continue walking forward for a while. Then he looked back. Bai Luo naturally knew what Xiao meant. After hesitating for a while, Bai Luo nodded. Let's forget it this time, but this matter can't be forgotten. Anyway, take him back, and some things still need to be dealt with. After all, good and evil will be rewarded. Xiao still listened to Bai Luo's words, so he quickly retreated. But Bai Luo also stood up at this time. He looked at Aang Chen in front of him, and finally said to him very sincerely, I know you are reluctant, but you also know what this war has brought to the Kanglang country. How can it be erased by a few apologies? Now we just don't kill him for the time being, but someone must be responsible for the things that happen later. We can't just let it go. Bai Luo's expression was very serious. On the other side, Aang Chen said something good. In fact, he also knew that the ancestor himself was wrong in this matter. But because of the blood relationship, Bao Yangchen still had some compassion. So Bao Yangchen did not answer Bai Luo's words immediately. Then Bai Luo tied up the Aoyang ancestor himself. Because he was not sure whether the Aoyang ancestor would do something behind his back. Now the situation has been controlled, so the final war is considered to have ended here. Bai Luo learned that the old emperor had also been imprisoned, but these things did not need Bai Luo to deal with. Aoyang Chen and the others had their own decisions, because there were still many things that were not over. After dealing with the things here, the leaders of the two countries continued their negotiations. Bai Luo and the others went there that day, and Aoyang Chen and Aoyang Zhu were very friendly. This war was indeed caused by something that happened in our Aoyang family, and it is itself very unjust, so we are willing to take responsibility for the negative impact of this war. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 466, Method of Salvation. At this point, the other party paused, and after seeing that the people in front of him did not express much, he continued, "We can also compensate for the losses, so we hope that Kanglang country can give us another chance." In fact, Zinayu really didn't want to let it go, but she saw that Aoyang Chen and Aoyang Zhu were so sincere, and now even if she didn't want to do this, there was no other way. After all, the best thing for Kanglang country now is to quickly rebuild the places destroyed by the war. So they also need a large amount of funds. It was because of Aoyang Chen and Aoyang Zhu that Zinayu didn't make things difficult for them in the end. Bai Luo was watching the development above, and then Xiao beside him patted himself. Then he stood up in a panic. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo, who was standing by, quickly pulled Xiao beside him. "What's wrong with you? Did something happen?" Xiaotu's expression was not good. Then he said quickly, "I seem to feel that Lengai is about to give birth. I have to go back quickly." After hearing this, Bai Luo also nodded quickly. "Okay, then you go back quickly. I'll take care of the things here." After that, Xiaotu left quickly. Then Aoyang Chen and Aoyang Zhu discussed some compensation matters with the Kanglang country. Even in this regard, Aoyang Chen and Aoyang Zhu were very generous, so there was nothing difficult in the negotiations. Bai Luo naturally knew that the previous things were easy to talk about, but the most important thing was how to deal with this ancestor. After all, this person's identity was the real embarrassment. This matter was all caused by him. If it weren't for him, such a thing might not have happened. Although the war is over now, some things have to be done. He still has to bear the responsibility. Bai Luo also stood up at this time and then expressed his attitude. "Since this matter has been explained so clearly, I think we need to properly deal with the Aoyang ancestor. After all, we all know that the Aoyang ancestor has long been dead. This is just his soul. No matter how you look at this matter, so many lives have been lost, so it is really impossible to let it go. Someone has to stand up and take responsibility." When Bai Luo said this, he immediately looked at Aoyang Chen on the side, and then continued, "I have learned a method of salvation that can help you save the soul of your ancestor." After hearing Bai Luo's words, Aoyang Chen and Aoyang Zhu on the other side also looked at Bai Luo with some embarrassment. The thing he feared the most still happened. Although Aoyang Chen did blame the ancestor in his heart after this incident, but because of the blood relationship, Aoyang Chen still felt a little bit reluctant. But he also knew that Bai Luo and the others did nothing wrong, because this matter was the ancestor himself who made a mistake. It is not possible to blame others, but as descendants, they can't do things so absolutely. Perhaps it was because of Aoyang Chen's own compassion, so Aoyang Chen stood up at this time. "Bai Luo, how about changing the method? Although the ancestor did something wrong in this matter, I can understand why he did it. He just wanted the Aoyang family to become better and better, and he also helped our army to improve its strength after he came back this time. Don't let him be wiped out. Let's think of another way." After listening to Aoyang Chen's words, Bai Luo looked at Aoyang Chen on the side, and then looked at the ancestor Aoyang on the other side. The ancestor Aoyang also stood up at this time. Actually, I don't want to harm you, but after I saw the current situation of the Aoyang family, there will always be some gaps. After all, in my world, the Aoyang family can be regarded as the top family in the world, but now it has become like this. So I hope that the Aoyang family can restore its previous prosperity, and then it will go astray. The expression on the face of the ancestor Aoyang looked quite serious, and his words were very sincere. Bai Luo didn't know what to do for a moment. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. In fact, Bai Luo didn't have to let him die, but if Bai Luo let him go so easily this time, he didn't know how to explain to the dead souls. Although the Aoyang family's attack on the Kanglang Kingdom did not succeed in the end, many residents of the Kanglang Kingdom were still hurt in the process. These things are indelible. After all, some things happened and someone must take responsibility. But Bai Luo also understood that Aoyang Chen and his men's position was indeed very difficult. After all, as a member of the Aoyang family, the Aoyang ancestor seemed to have done nothing wrong. So Bai Luo was still very hesitant and didn't know how to deal with the Aoyang ancestor. At this time, the Aoyang ancestor suddenly disappeared in front of him. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo quickly turned around. Then others saw the soul of the Aoyang ancestor drilled into Aoyang Chen's body. Then Aoyang Chen's eyes suddenly became fierce, and then he kept a distance from the people around him. He pointed at the people around him. "You'd better not come over here. If you want me to return Aoyang Chen's body, you'd better let me go, otherwise I will stay in there forever. Anyway, Aoyang Chen's body is under my control now. If you want him to be well, you'd better not act rashly." Bai Luo, who was standing aside, saw this situation, and then couldn't help but frowned. On the other side, Aoyang Zhu naturally didn't expect that this situation would suddenly occur. Just now, her brother was standing next to her, but she didn't expect that he would suddenly be possessed by this ancestor. So Aoyang Zhu was also very anxious, and quickly said to the Aoyang ancestor in front of her, "Don't get excited first, we can discuss everything, but you must not hurt my brother." In fact, at this moment, Aoyang Zhu still regretted it very much. If they could have been more resolute at that time, this situation might not have happened. Maybe they have been wrong all along, and this ancestor is not a good person at all. But it's too late to regret now. The most urgent task now is to get the ancestor out of Aoyang Chen's body as soon as possible. Ancestor Aoyang then laughed unbridledly. Seeing that everyone around him was so nervous, he knew that his goal had been achieved. Chapter 467 Return to the Internet Cafe. If you want me to go out honestly, then let me go quickly, otherwise I don't know what I will do. If you are smart, then make way for me quickly, and don't catch up, otherwise I can kill Aoyang Chen at any time. After hearing what this person said, Aoyang Zhu didn't know how to react for a moment. If Aoyang ancestor was really let go, Aoyang Zhu didn't know if Aoyang ancestor would do something else out of the ordinary next. After all, he was the one who provoked this war, and Aoyang Zhu really couldn't be sure that this ancestor would give up. On the other side, Bai Luo couldn't help but sneer after seeing this situation. In fact, this is also good. If Bai Luo was still struggling with how to deal with Aoyang ancestor before, then now Bai Luo is determined. Because everyone can see that Aoyang ancestor is not an ordinary person at all. He is not a good person. If Aoyang ancestor is let go this time, then he may cause trouble again. So we know that we must not be soft-hearted towards the Aoyang ancestor. If we let him go this time, there may be endless troubles in the future. So Bai Luo also stood up at this time, and then he directly used the soul purification technique on Aoyang Chen in front of him. The method of this soul purification technique was found by Bai Luo in the underground space, but it just came in handy at this time. In that instant, the soul of the Aoyang ancestor was directly squeezed out of Aoyang Chen's body. The Aoyang ancestor never thought that it would turn out like this. Then he realized that something was wrong, and then he hurriedly wanted to escape. But Bai Luo didn't give him any chance, and then he directly pressed him to the ground with his magic power. "You still want to escape now? If I had said that I still had some compassion, I could have dealt with you directly now. People like you, on the surface, say that the family honor is nothing more than that, but it is still difficult to cover up your selfish nature. You will do anything to achieve your goal, and you are not willing to let even your own descendants go. As long as someone becomes a stumbling block to you, you will carefully find a way to get rid of him. People like you should have disappeared long ago, and you should not exist in this world. On the other side, Bao Yangchen has also regained consciousness. He looked at Yangzu, who looked very nervous, and then looked at the situation on the other side. His consciousness has been completely controlled just now. But now he can still recall what he encountered just now. He didn't expect that this Yang ancestor was still unwilling to give up, and his behavior was indeed unpredictable. So after hearing Bai Luo's words, Bao Yangchen did not refute anything. If he did want Bai Luo to change to a lighter punishment method before, but now Bao Yangchen also knows that it is impossible. And through what happened just now, Bao Yangchen also knew that if he let the ancestor go this time, he didn't know what kind of trouble would happen in the future. If the lives of innocent people were harmed again, he would be really wrong. So the idiot just stood aside and didn't say a word. Yao Yangzu on the other side had the same attitude as Yao Yangchen, just watching them quietly. Seeing Bai Luo looked at them, the two nodded slightly. After that, no more words were said. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo on the other side also waved his hand. With his powerful spiritual power, he directly destroyed the soul of the ancestor Aoyang. The ancestor Aoyang disappeared silently in front of everyone. With the disappearance of the ancestor Aoyang, this matter came to an end. Bai Luo didn't care about other things at all, and then walked directly to the side of Yangchen. Since there are no exceptions here, I will hurry back to the internet cafe. After all, there are still many things I need to deal with there. And just now, the little rabbit was in a hurry, saying that Leng Yu was about to give birth. I have to hurry to see if the situation there is going well. If something happens, I have to deal with it quickly. After hearing Bai Luo's words, Bao Yangchen also nodded quickly. If you are in a hurry, go back quickly, but we probably won't go back to the internet cafe in a short time. You also know that this incident is actually a big blow to the Aoyang family. We have to deal with some things properly, because the old ancestors' control over the Aoyang family these days has also made the Aoyang family restless. I feel that there are still many things to deal with, so I won't send you off for now. Bai Luo didn't care much about this matter. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. But Bai Luo did know that this old ancestor did a lot of unreliable things. After all, the old emperor was imprisoned by this ancestor. So Bai Luo nodded and then turned and left. After seeing Bai Luo leave, Yao Yangzu, who was standing by, also looked directly at Yangchen and then expressed her thoughts. Although the ancestor did do a lot of wrong things, he has indeed received the punishment he deserves now. We can't give them any good treatment. In the end, we should give them a tombstone. It can be considered that the trip was not in vain. Yao Yangchen hesitated for a moment and finally nodded in agreement. In fact, such things are nothing more than some insignificant things in Yao Yangchen's view. Anyway, the people are gone, and doing these things is just to leave a comfort for future generations. You can do it yourself. What you said is indeed right. Although the ancestor Aoyang did something wrong, he is at least a member of the Aoyang family. We have no ability to judge anything. Anyway, someone must come out to take responsibility for this war. This is also the decision made by the ancestor himself. Some things are wrong, so it can't be blamed on anyone for it to fall into this situation today. Yao Yangzu nodded to show that she understood. Okay, actually I know all this. These days, Yao Yangzu and Yao Yangchen have been dealing with some state affairs, and they are too busy to spare any time. After all, this war was not a small blow to the Aoyang family, and there were too many things to deal with. Bai Luo returned to the internet cafe at this time, and he was not idle for a moment on the way. After all, he still clearly remembered the hurried expression of Xiaotu when she left. If it was true as Xiaotu said, Leng Yu would be about to give birth now, then she should have given birth by now. I don't know if things over there are going smoothly, so Bai Luo rushed back to the internet cafe very quickly. Chapter 468 Someone is causing trouble. As soon as he arrived at the internet cafe, he hurried to find Xiao Tu. Xiao Tu didn't expect Bai Luo to come back so soon, and then she said to Bai Luo with a baby in her arms, "Why did you come back so soon? How did you deal with things over there?" Bai Luo didn't want to go to his side. Anyway, it was already dealt with. He was more concerned about Xiao Tu's situation. Things over there have been dealt with, but nothing should have happened to you. Xiao Tu smiled and shook her head, and then hurried to share her joy with Bai Luo. Nothing happened. Len Yu had already given birth when I came back. My wife gave birth to 3 children for me at once. Look how cute they are. After Xiao Tu finished talking about this, she immediately put a baby in Bai Luo's hand. Bai Luo didn't expect Xiao Tu to become 3 children at once, so he hurried to congratulate him. Then you are so lucky. You will have 3 children in the future. After hearing this, Xiao Tu nodded happily. In fact, after seeing his own children, Xiao Tu also knew that he really had to fulfill his responsibilities as a father. Moreover, Len Yu also needed to rest because of the birth, so Xiao Tu was busy these days and helped with everything. There was no complaint at all. Xiao Tu also felt the sense of responsibility of being a father in this matter, which was actually a good feeling. Bai Luo was also helping to take care of them. Seeing the changes in Xiao Tu, Bai Luo was naturally very happy. It seems that the change of identity can really help a person to mature. When you know that you have this idea, Bai Luo couldn't help but smile and shook his head. These days, the internet cafe has resumed business because the internet cafe has been powered on. Since he has completed the task assigned to him by the system last time, the internet cafe has been quite normal. Since the internet cafe has returned to normal, Bai Luo also thought about using the internet cafe to do something. But before this matter was put on the agenda, Bai Luo didn't expect Ao Yangzu to return to the internet cafe at this time. Hearing Ao Yangzu coming over, Bai Luo couldn't help but said with some confusion, "Didn't you say last time that you would stay there for a while? How come you're back so soon? Things over there shouldn't be so easy to deal with. I didn't expect you to come back so early." After hearing Bai Luo's words, Ao Yangzu couldn't help but smile, and after leaving, she quickly explained to Bai Luo in front of her. There are indeed many things to deal with over there, but some important things have been dealt with, and the remaining things are very trivial, so I came back directly and left all those things to my brother. Bai Luo couldn't help but smile after hearing Ao Yangzu's words, and then naturally there was nothing to say. After all, things over there were not up to him to worry about. Okay, then it couldn't be better, if that's the case. It just so happens that the internet cafe has reopened these days, and there are still many places that need help. It's good that you're back now, just in time to come back and lend a hand. Ao Yangzu nodded and then started working directly, without any sloppiness, and then the internet cafe opened normally. There are still some people coming to the internet cafe. There are not as many customers as usual, but there are still some old customers. In fact, this is not bad, at least it is not too busy. But Bai Luo still has something to worry about. After all, the internet cafe is in a lot of debt. In the past, I spent a lot of money to build the internet cafe, but now the business is too slow, and the customer flow is not increasing. So Bai Luo was a little anxious, and finally decided to change his strategy. Otherwise, it would take a long time to pay off his debts, and he felt that it was a problem. So this day, Bai Luo also gathered everyone together and finally said to everyone, although the business of the internet cafe has indeed returned to normal, there are still relatively few customers now. I think our internet cafe can still bear more customers, and you also know that the internet cafe does owe a lot of money. If we want to pay the money back quickly, we need more customers. In fact, our internet cafe must be very attractive to other people, but many people don't know the existence of the internet cafe, so there are so few customers now. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. Ao Yangzu also nodded. She also discovered this phenomenon. After all, I have been back here for several days, and I found that most of the time, the seats in the internet cafe are not even half full. This is indeed a problem. I have been here for so many days and I feel that this place is a bit empty. And Bai Luo, what you said makes a lot of sense. The internet cafe is indeed right because those who amend the law are very helpful. After all, it is very easy to improve your law here. It's just that many people don't know the existence of the internet cafe, so now it is most important to increase the popularity of the internet cafe. After hearing Iangzu's words, Bai Luo smiled with satisfaction. Then he directly told everyone his thoughts. I think this way, there are too few customers now, or it is because our publicity is not in place. I think everyone can help promote it. As long as those people know that there is such a good place, there will definitely be many people coming. Xinyu on the side also nodded. This is indeed good. I can go to Kangalang country to promote it. There are also many people in Kangalang country who need to practice. I believe the publicity effect will be good. After listening to Xinyu's words, Iangzu on the side was not to be outdone. Then I will go to Iang's house to promote it. Anyway, I think there will definitely be no shortage of people who want to practice on the mainland. As long as we spread the news, we will definitely welcome many customers. After listening to everyone's words, Bai Luo was relieved. Then he let them go and do it. Sure enough, the effect of this matter was very good. Iangzu and Xinyu were also very helpful and did a very good job in publicity. Bai Luo could clearly feel that the number of customers in the internet cafe suddenly increased. But as the number of customers increased, they also encountered some troubles. On this day, a group of tall and strong people came to the door of the internet cafe. They were very arrogant before they entered the door. After seeing Bai Luo, they said a lot of impolite words. This is the internet cafe that is actually weak. Why does it look very ordinary from the outside? It can't be a lie. That's right, I think it's just a bunch of garbage. Chapter 469, Driving People Away. TSK. After hearing what this person said, Bai Luo also forced a smile and then explained to this person. You will know if it is a scam or not if you try it yourself. If it doesn't work, we won't charge you. After hearing what Bai Luo said, this person immediately ignored Bai Luo. Then he kicked the door of the internet cafe open. Iangzu, who was on the other side, saw this situation and then became very angry and couldn't help but complain. Who is this person? How can he be so rude? Bai Luo also shook his head helplessly when he saw this situation and finally said to Iangzu on the side, don't bother with such people. After all, customers are the most important. If these people find that this bastard can really help them improve their magic power, then they may change their attitude. Iangzu was a little helpless and didn't say much in the end. Then she quickly followed them to explain to them how to use some of the equipment in the internet cafe. Because she didn't have a good impression of these people just now, Iangzu just explained to them very stiffly how to use these computers. Who knew that? After seeing Iangzu's appearance, these people immediately started to laugh very greasy. And they kept looking at Iangzu with a smile. Iangzu was also a little helpless about this situation. Looking at the smiles on these people's faces, Iangzu really wanted to slap them. But thinking that these people were customers of the internet cafe, Iangzu didn't want to cause trouble for Bai Luo, so she finally injured it. Then she ignored them and continued to explain to them how to use these computers. But who knew that one of them directly put his hand on Iangzu's shoulder. Iangzu also closed her eyes and wanted to take action directly. But before Iangzu could get angry, Bai Luo appeared beside her at this time and kicked this person directly. Bai Luo had thought about enduring it before. After all, these were his customers. What the internet cafe needs most now is customers. But I didn't expect that these people really didn't know what was good for them, and later they set their sights on Iangzu. Bai Luo couldn't stand it anyway, so he didn't plan to let them go. These people didn't expect Bai Luo to attack them directly, but they were not easy to mess with, so they stood up immediately and planned to compete with Bai Luo and his friends. Bai Luo didn't want these people to affect other customers, so he said to Xiao Tu, who was standing beside him, Xiao Tu, Kick these people out. Don't affect other customers. After seeing Bai Luo's words, Xiao nodded and walked towards those people. These people wanted to attack at first, but Xiao didn't take them seriously at all. Then, a strong force rushed over, and these people were thrown out of the internet cafe. Then Xiao didn't want to let them go just like that, and then followed them out. Bai Luo was a little worried when he saw this situation, and then he couldn't help but say, just tell them not to make trouble there, and don't be too heavy-handed. Then, Xiao nodded to show his understanding. After those people were thrown out just now, they also felt puzzled. They didn't expect the strength of the person in front of them to be so strong. After all, he was considered a strong man in the North State continent. At least he had a certain strength, but he didn't expect to be beaten up as soon as he arrived here. They couldn't save their face. So after these people stood up, they wanted to go to the internet cafe to make trouble immediately. Unexpectedly, the person who just dealt with them came out. Thinking of the strength of the person in front of them, these people still had some lingering fear. So they stepped back a few steps. What do you want to do? We are from the North State continent. If you dare to do anything out of line, don't blame us for not letting you go. These words naturally didn't threaten Xiao, so Xiao didn't take them to heart. But Xiao didn't think about how to find them. He just mobilized his spiritual power and then revealed his true form. This is a huge glutton. These people have never seen such a thing. After seeing Xiao's true form, these people were so scared that their legs trembled. Their eyes couldn't help but be distracted. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. Then they all screamed, and then they ran away. There are monsters. There are monsters. Bai Luo was still a little worried, so he came out at this time. So he saw all the scenes just now, and then Bai Luo walked forward and said to Xiao beside him, aren't you afraid of scaring these people silly like this? We will have to deal with them later. Xiao waved his hand helplessly. Don't blame me for this. Anyway, I gave them a chance, but these people are so useless. They want to bully people just because they have a few brushes. If these people are really scared silly, let them play for a few days. Anyway, Gao Yangzu can cure them by then. Bai Luo smiled. What he said was indeed correct. Then Bai Luo thought of what those people said just now. Those people actually came from the North Continent. I have never heard of this place, and I have never been to this place. So he looked at the little rabbit beside him, and then he spoke. Didn't those people just say that they came from the North Continent? Have you ever been to the North Continent? The little rabbit recalled, and then shook his head. I haven't been there, but I have met some people who came out of there. After all, the world over there is too remote, and I dare not go there Ashley. Bai Luo nodded, and then didn't say anything more, and then went back to the internet cafe to continue working. Apart from this little episode, the memory of the internet cafe these days is still very gratifying, because the number of customers has really increased a lot. People from all over the continent have heard that there is such a place where you can improve your mana as long as you eat, drink and have fun. And the price is not very high, which also attracts many people who need to improve their mana. And after these people come once, they will naturally come for the second time. Because they also know that the propaganda of the internet cafe did not deceive them, and their mana has indeed improved. With more and more customers, Bai Luo's heart is naturally very happy. Because the turnover is also rising. It didn't take long for Bai Luo to pay off the debt of the internet cafe. Bai Luo was also surprised at the speed at which he made money, and he was naturally very happy. Chapter 470, The Saint's Speculation. Compared to the joyful atmosphere here, the situation in the Holy Land was not so good, because they had no way to completely eliminate the shadow of the little rabbit. They tried many methods, but in the end there was no progress. And as time went on, Hualan recovered better and better, and his strength recovered very quickly. After seeing this situation, the elder shook his head helplessly. Then he looked at the saint beside him and said helplessly, we have tried so many methods, but in the end there is still no progress. If this shadow is not eliminated one day, it will always be a hidden danger. The saint had no other way. After all, her ability was only so high. Many methods have been tried, but in the end they all ended in failure. Now this matter is indeed difficult, but we have no other way. In fact, the elder said so many things just now because he wanted the saint to find Bai Luo. After all, the elder still believed in Bai Luo's strength and thought that the saint and Bai Luo had a good relationship, so he didn't think of asking the saint to ask Bai Luo for help. The foreshadowing was almost done just now, so the elder said directly to the saint in front of him, or we should ask Bai Luo for help. After all, he knows the soul binding technique, so maybe he has a way. After hearing the words of the great elder, the expression on the face of the saint girl also became hesitant. After all, after what happened last time, the saint girl felt a little embarrassed to look at Bai Luo. And the saint girl also knew that Bai Luo didn't want to have anything to do with the body now. After all, Bai Luo had made his attitude clear to her last time. Bai Luo had helped the Holy Land with many things, and every time it was actually the Holy Land that caused Bai Luo trouble. So after thinking about it, I decided not to bother Bai Luo. Forget it. Bai Luo told me last time that he didn't want to have anything to do with the body. If I go to him for help this time, I might not be answered, so there's no need to make trouble for myself. It's unlikely to succeed. The saint girl's tone was very firm, so although the great elder on the side was a little disappointed, he didn't force anything. Seeing that this matter could not be resolved, the great elder then directly said to the saint girl on the other side, then let's not deal with this matter for now. I just wanted to tell you another thing. The high priest of Bai's house speculated that the celestial phenomena had changed and someone who could completely clear out the demon realm had appeared, so Bai's house specially invited the Holy Land to go there. Our idea is to send you there directly. After listening to the words of the great elder, the saint did not say anything more in the end. After all, she often responded to some invitations on behalf of the Holy Land. After the elder left, the saint could not help but have some doubts in her heart. Someone who can directly eliminate the demon realm? How could such a powerful person exist in this world? When she thought of this, the saint was also a little confused, and then Bai Luo's face appeared in her mind. Could this person be Bai Luo? After all, among the people she knew, it seemed that only Bai Luo had such strength. But now it was just her own guess, and the saint had no chance to confirm it. But the saint still had some expectations in her heart. After all, the last time, Bai Luo and I had a little unpleasant quarrel, and I was indeed a little too anxious. If I could see Bai Luo this time, when I go to Bai's house, it would be great. On the other side, the internet cafe business that Bai Luo is running is very hot, and sometimes there are not enough seats for some people. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo also made some other calculations in his mind. Since the internet cafe is doing so well now, Bai Luo thinks he can still prepare to run another branch. After all, as long as the infrastructure is well done, Bai Luo believes that it can still be the same as now. After all, the current scale of operation of his internet cafe is only this large, and it is impossible to bear so many people. So where should a new internet cafe be built? After all, the current internet cafe is built here, which can be regarded as absorbing some people around who want to improve their magic power. It is impossible to build a new branch next to this internet cafe, so Bai Luo knows that he must find a suitable place quickly. I don't know why Bai Luo suddenly thought of the men from Bai's house who came that day. If Bai Luo remembered correctly, these people should be scared crazy now. They have been wandering around the internet cafe these days. Maybe Bai's house is really a good choice, but Bai Luo doesn't know much about Bai's house, so he thought about looking for these people to ask them. The error-free version is available at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel, but they are now unconscious. After Bai Luo confirmed this idea, he said to Zio to beside him, hurry up and find those people who were scared silly by you. I have something to ask them. Gao Yangzu beside him also felt a little confused. She didn't know why Bai Luo suddenly looked for those people, but Bai Luo didn't explain anything now. In the end, those people were brought here directly, and they all looked very distracted. Bai Luo looked at Ao Yangzu beside him, and then spoke to Ao Yangzu. I'm sorry to bother you with this. I have something to ask them, so they can't answer my questions in their current state. So please help Ao Yangzu to heal them all. Although Aoyangzu really didn't like these people, Bai Luo had already spoken, so Aoyangzu had nothing to say. Then she cast a spell to cure these people. After they woke up, they saw the little rabbit next to them, and were frightened again. After all, their memories still existed, so they naturally knew that the little rabbit was not someone to be trifled with. Bai Luo didn't waste any words with them, and then he spoke directly. Just answer whatever I ask, otherwise don't blame us for being rude. I guess you have seen how powerful we are last time. If these people were still a little unconvinced before they met the little rabbit, now they also know that their situation is not optimistic. They also know that Bai Luo and his men are not someone to be trifled with. So after hearing Bai Luo's words, they all nodded. Please accept it. Bai Luo spoke directly. Didn't you say last time that you came from the North Continent? We have never been to the North Continent, so we hope you can provide us with some information about the North Continent. After hearing Bai Luo's words, these people also honestly described some of the conditions in the North Continent. However, Bai Luo had already gotten the answer he wanted. Chapter 471 Discovering Aoyangzu. Bizhao is indeed a vast land with abundant resources, but there is little communication with this side. But there are a lot of people there. So Bai Luo immediately grasped the key points of their answers, and then nodded. After that, he told his thoughts to Xiaotu and Aoyangzu beside him. They didn't expect Bai Luo to have such a good deal, but Bai Luo's current idea is indeed quite good. But Xiaotu still said with some worry, I haven't been to Bizhao. Although your idea is indeed quite good, it is possible that there will be a lot of gains after building Wangba there, but it is still a bit dangerous after all. Bai Luo naturally knew that Xiaotu and the others were also concerned about him, so he expressed his position in his heart. Actually, I know all this, but I can't keep avoiding it. I want to go to Bizhao to see the situation first, and then decide whether to open a branch of the internet cafe there. Hearing Bai Luo's firm tone, Xiaotu and the others didn't say anything more. They didn't plan to go to Bai Luo again, but they were still worried about Bai Luo's safety, and then Xiaotu stood up directly. Then I'll go back with you this time. With one more person, we can take care of each other. Otherwise, if you go alone, it will be difficult to find someone to help you if you encounter any trouble. Gao Yangchen also nodded, and then planned to go with Bai Luo. I think what Xiaotu said is right. I will go with you this time. Anyway, we are all together. Seeing this situation, Bai Luo smiled helplessly. You two have a lot of things to do recently. If you suddenly go to Bizhao with me, who will take care of those things? Especially you, Xiaotu. After all, you are the father of several children now. I think you can spend more time with your children. Otherwise the children will not be close to you in the future. If you leave, then you will have to take care of the children alone, so you should stay. Xiaotu wanted to say something else, but was interrupted by Bai Luo. I know what you want to say. I know your children are growing up very fast, but they are still children. If you leave, then you will be very busy. You don't need to worry about me too much, because I'm still somewhat confident about this matter. There should be no accidents on the road. After talking to Xiaotu about this matter, Bai Luo turned around and looked at Aoyangchen on the side. And you, although you have almost dealt with the things at the Aoyang family, someone needs to stay to take care of the internet cafe. After all, there are more and more customers in the internet cafe. If I ask you to take it away this time, there will be no one to manage the internet cafe. Hearing this, the other party felt that it made sense. I agree. After all, this is a main store. I can't pick up sesame seeds and lose watermelons. At the same time, because Bai Luo had already rejected Aoyangchen and Xiaotu's request to go with him in advance, he didn't force too much afterwards. But Bai Luo had already decided to go to the North State continent, so this matter would not change anyway. Bai Luo didn't want them to waste more time on him, so he left the internet cafe early in the morning. He just left a letter there. There was nothing important in the letter, just asking them to run the internet cafe well. Then Bai Luo took his luggage and left, and took the people from Bizhao continent with him. They didn't expect Bai Luo to take them with him at this time, but they didn't dare to say anything. After all, Xiaotu had already listened to them, and taught them a lesson last time. Bai Luo had his own reasons for taking them away. After all, he was not familiar with the route to Bizhao continent, so he had to rely on them to show him the way. You'd better not play any tricks with me. When I get to Bizhao continent, I will naturally let you go. After all, there is no grudge between us. Although your attitude before was indeed a little arrogant, as long as you help me get to Bizhao continent, I will not bother you again. These people were timid, and a taller man among them also stood up. Okay, big brother, whatever you say is what it is. After all, we all came from the North Continent, so there is really no big problem in taking you to the North Continent, as long as you are willing to let us go. It was indeed because we were blind that we offended you before, but now we all know that we are wrong. After hearing what this person said, Bai Luo also looked at them with some disdain. How can these people look down on others? They were so arrogant before, but why did they suddenly become a different person now? However, Bai Luo can understand it. These people are arrogant only because they don't have a clear understanding of themselves and look down on others. Now let them see their own strength. I believe they dare not be so presumptuous. So Bai Luo also smiled and said, it's good that you understand this truth. Otherwise you know the consequences. Don't play any tricks on me on the road. Otherwise you will die ugly. The error-free version is available at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. These people listened to Bai Luo's words and then nodded seriously. Then they led the way very honestly. Just when Bai Luo was leading a group of people to another direction, another figure appeared behind him. It was a very subtle footstep, but Bai Luo still heard it. Could it be that someone followed him? Thinking of this, Bai Luo couldn't help but frown. His whereabouts would not be exposed, but the footsteps had been following him for a while, and it wouldn't be a passerby. Thinking of this, Bai Luo still frowned, and then went to hide on the side of the road. Then he looked out again. Gao Yangzu. Why is she here? On the other side, Gao Yangzu had been following Bai Luo and the others, but she didn't expect to lose them in a short while. So Gao Yangzu is still a little anxious now. Then she continued to run forward. When Bai Luo on the other side saw this situation, he immediately stood up. Then he called Gao Yangzu. Gao Yangzu, why are you here? Why are you following me? Bai Luo then carefully looked at Gao Yangzu in front of him and found that Gao Yangzu also came out with a bag on her back. So the expression on Bai Luo's face was even more subtle. On the other hand, he didn't expect that his whereabouts would be discovered so quickly, so he scratched his head a little embarrassedly. Chapter 472. Expensive price. But she was quite open and above board. She was a little flustered when she saw Bai Luo, but she quickly walked over and looked at Bai Luo with a smile. Then she said as a matter of course, didn't you say you were going to the North Continent? Of course I'll go with you, otherwise I'll be worried if you go alone. Bai Luo had never expected this. After all, when he said he was going to the North Continent, Gao Yangzu was also there. But Gao Yangzu didn't say a word, and it seemed that she had no intention of going at all. I didn't expect her to appear here again now. The woman on the other side seemed to have guessed what Bai Luo was thinking, and then she smiled and said, I must have planned it in my mind. If I didn't say it at that time, I knew you would definitely persuade me after I said it, but I have followed you so far now. You can't just tell me to go back. Otherwise, it would really be a waste of time. And now that I'm out, you can't order me or anything. Bai Luo was also a little headached by Gao Yangzu's logic. Then he rubbed his head helplessly. What Gao Yangzu said was indeed correct, and there was nothing he could do to her now. After all, they had already come here, and it was impossible for him to just let Gao Yangzu go back the same way. So Bai Luo finally compromised. Well, then, since you have tried so hard to catch up, I can't let you down. But you have to be mentally prepared in advance. After all, I don't know anything about the North Continent, so I don't know what will happen there, and I don't know if we will encounter any danger there. These are all unknowns, and I dare not promise you. After hearing Bai Luo's words, Gao Yangzu also waved her hand indifferently. Since I have already followed here, it means that I have thought about everything. This is my own decision, so I will never blame you, so I hope you don't interfere with my decision. After all, I'm a person who can be responsible for the decisions I made. Since Yangzu had already said this, Bai Luo could no longer say anything discouraging. So Bai Luo also nodded. Well, I have nothing to say, let's go together. Yao Yangzu looked at the situation here, and then looked at the people beside Bai Luo. Why ask them to take us along? Isn't it a waste of effort? Bai Luo also looked at the people with a complicated expression, and then said to Yao Yangzu, these people are at least a little useful. After all, we don't know how to get to the North Continent. Although it's a little troublesome to take them, it still has some use. Yao Yangzu didn't say much in the end. Then Bai Luo followed the three people and walked in another direction. But Bai Luo was still a little worried, so he asked, which direction are you taking us? Why do I feel that there are fewer and fewer people as we walk? After hearing Bai Luo's words, the three people looked at each other. Then the man just now stood up and saw this man walking in front of Bai Luo with a playful smile. Don't worry about this. We will definitely take you to the North State Continent. After all, I still hope that you will ask us to let you go. After all, we are going to the North State Continent, so this road is indeed a bit remote. It will be fine in a while. When he said this, the man still paused. Then he continued. If you go to the North State Continent by the normal route, it will take a very long time. I know there is a teleportation array that can shorten the distance a lot. Then you can go directly there. Bai Luo couldn't help but be surprised after hearing this. Then this fabrication is perfect. After all, he didn't want to waste a lot of time on hiking. So Bai Luo nodded. Okay, then this is perfect. Although Bai Luo didn't believe these people at first, as he walked, Bai Luo found that the scenery here was indeed a little different. And there were gradually some people here. Then Bai Luo continued to follow them over there. Then they came to a slightly bright valley, where people came and went. Bai Luo had never been here before, and then he looked at the three people next to him. Who is this? Could it be that we have arrived at the northern continent? When those people heard Bai Luo's words, they immediately shook their heads. How could it be so fast? If you go past here, there is a very large desert. After passing through the desert, you can directly reach the northern continent, but the area of the desert is very large. If you walk through it, it will definitely take a lot of time. But there is also a teleportation array here. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. After this person finished speaking, he could only go in another direction. Then Bai Luo saw the so-called teleportation array. However, Bai Luo was surprised that there were not many people at the teleportation array, and it seemed a little deserted. So Bai Luo said in confusion, why can it obviously shorten so much time? Why do some people turn a blind eye and walk directly into it? After hearing Bai Luo's words, this person also helped Bai Luo solve this doubt. Of course, this teleportation array costs money. Some people can't afford it, so they will choose to walk. This statement is quite reasonable. So Bai Luo nodded, and then rushed to the teleportation array. There were people guarding here, so Bai Luo walked in front and asked directly, hello, can I go directly to the North Continent from here? These people looked at Bai Luo, and then said to Bai Luo, 5,000 spirit stones per person, don't come if you can't afford it. 5,000 spirit stones. When Bai Luo heard this number, he couldn't help but be stunned. The expression on his face was also very shocked. After all, he had been earning for so long, but he didn't earn many 5,000 spirit stones. You are a black-hearted businessman, right? It costs so many spirit stones to make a teleportation array. After hearing Bai Luo's words, this person said with disdain, don't come here if you don't have money. Anyway, there are so many people doing it, and you are not needed. Bai Luo was also furious at this person, but there was no other way. After all, once you leave the teleportation array, you are still under their control. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 473, Discrimination. While Bai Luo was still hesitating about this matter, Gao Yangzu, who was standing by, could not help but point to the other side and then exclaimed, "They ran away." Then Bai Luo quickly turned around, and then he saw the 3 people sneaking around and trying to escape from here quickly. Bai Luo's first reaction when he saw this situation was to chase them immediately. But Yangzu, who was standing by, held Bai Luo back. "Why go find them? These people probably don't want to go with us. But anyway, we are here now. If we really decide to make a teleportation array, we can't spend so many spirit stones to take them with us. So let them run away, it doesn't matter anyway." After hearing what Yangzu said, Bai Luo suddenly had an epiphany. After all, what Yangzu said was absolutely right. It really didn't work if he took them back. So Bai Luo also stopped and nodded in approval. "Then what you said is absolutely correct. I can't spend so much money to take them with me. After all, our internet cafe doesn't make so much money for me to spend." After saying this, Bai Luo shifted his sight to the teleportation array. Should I build this teleportation array? Bai Luo was still a little worried. After all, it was so expensive. Then the voice of a system rang in his mind. "Isn't it just 5,000 spirit stones? No one can make more money. Otherwise, you're wasting time here. It's not a big amount." After hearing this, Bai Luo couldn't help rolling his eyes. "You said it very lightly, otherwise you can pay for me. It's really easy to talk." Bai Luo was also stimulated by the system, but he really didn't want to spend so much money to build this teleportation array. But Bai Luo still asked the guard with some reluctance, "Can't the price be negotiated?" After hearing Bai Luo's words, these people also looked down on Bai Luo. Then he said with some contempt, "I hate you southerners who are so nagging. You have no strength, but you are so nagging to pay. If you can't pay so much, just choose to walk there like those people. Don't waste your breath here." Bai Luo was very angry at their appearance, and then he said very unconvinced, "What's wrong? What's wrong with southerners? You don't have any regional discrimination, right? And I just asked if there is any more favorable plan. Look at you guys. You are taking advantage of others. It's really disgusting." The attitude of the man just now towards Bai Luo and his friends was indeed bad. After seeing this situation, the man's partner immediately stepped forward to mediate. "Stop arguing. Actually, there is another plan. If you spend 5,000 spirit stones, you can go directly to the main city. But if you just want to go to the North State continent, you only need 500 spirit stones." The man paused for a moment and then continued, "But at that time, we can only send you to the edge of the North State continent. As for how to get to where you want to go, it depends on you. In fact, this number is still quite acceptable." Recently, he looked at Yangzu on the side, and Bai Luo didn't have to go directly to the main city. Yangzu naturally had no other opinions. After all, she came out with Bai Luo this time, so it depends on Bai Luo's decision. "I can do whatever I want." After hearing Yangzu's words, Bai Luo didn't hesitate much and immediately took out his spirit stones. But Bai Luo still felt a little heartbroken. After all, it was not so easy to make money with his hard work, but there was no other way. Then Bai Luo took Yangzu and sat on the teleportation array together. When Bai Luo and the others walked out of the teleportation array, they immediately came to a strange place. Bai Luo was still a little curious about this place. After he came out, he said to Yangzu who was standing beside him, "I guess this should be the North State continent. In fact, the environmental characteristics here seem to be a little different from those in the south." Bai Luo couldn't explain why. He just felt that there was a difference just by looking at the environment. Yangzu who was standing beside him nodded. "We should have arrived, but those people just said that the place we arrived at should be the edge of the North State continent. If we want to go to the city, we should have to walk for a while." Hearing this, Bai Luo nodded. "Then let's go over and check the situation. There may be other discoveries later." After the two of them discussed this, they didn't want to stay here. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. Then they wanted to leave here. Both ends of the teleportation array were guarded by people, but they just wanted to leave. They immediately saw that there were quite a few inns nearby, and there were quite a lot of people. Bai Luo didn't think much about it and casually said to Zhu beside him, "Let's go to the inn and find a place to rest first. After all, it's not too early. We will continue to set off tomorrow." Hearing Bai Luo's words, Zhu nodded and agreed. Immediately followed Bai Luo to the direction of the inn. However, Bai Luo found that, as soon as he walked into the inn, the expressions of these people looking at Bai Luo and Zhu were a little strange. Bai Luo also felt puzzled. Why did he feel that the eyes of these people were very strange? But Bai Luo couldn't say what kind of feeling this was. But Bai Luo didn't bother about it anymore. After all, he didn't care much. Then Bai Luo directly found the waiter in the inn, and then wanted to rent a house to live in. But the waiter was dismissive of Bai Luo and his friends, and after hearing what Bai Luo said, he casually compared a very high price. Bai Luo heard their tone, and now he understood. "What do you mean? I just saw that the person in front of me didn't need so much money to register for a room here. You didn't just turn over a lot of money." The waiter didn't take Bai Luo's words seriously, and then said with some contempt, "If you want to stay, then stay. If you don't want to stay, then leave. You southerners are really nagging. Not only are you poor, but you also talk so much." Bai Luo now understands very clearly that these people just treat people differently. And since the beginning of coming here, I found that these people don't seem to like southerners. It seems that they look down on them from the bottom of their hearts. Then, they saw a group of people coming over. Those people didn't look very good. Bai Luo couldn't help but frowned when he saw this situation. Chapter 474, Arrogant Guy. These people walked directly in front of Bai Luo. The leader was probably a man in his 20s. He looked at Bai Luo in front of him and then said in a contemptuous tone, "This should be a southerner." Sure enough, this kind of teleportation array that teleports to the border is only used by southerners, and it looks very weak. I don't know why all the southerners rush to come to the North State continent. After hearing what this person said, Bai Luo's expression was colorful. This person should be a genuine North State continent person. Could it be that the people on this side of the North State continent are so powerful that they just saw me and belittled me very intimately? But Bai Luo, I see that they are dressed quite neatly, and at first glance, they are well-known figures on the North State continent. Anyway, they should be from some aristocratic family. Bai Luo and his friends have just arrived on the North State continent, and Bai Luo also feels that there is no need to cause trouble, so he did not answer anything. Who knew that the people over there were not willing to let them go at all? The man in the front had already said these contemptuous words. The people who followed him pointed fingers at Bai Luo and the others. The southerners are really no good. They are so cowardly. If they really come to our Bizhao continent, they will destroy our excellent genes. It's really unlucky. If Bai Luo wanted to bear it just now, but after hearing this, Bai Luo also felt that there was no need to be polite with these people. But who knew that before he started, Zhu on the side could no longer sit still. Zhu stood up at this time. Her weapon was already in her hand, and it can be seen that Zhu was also very angry. But it is also true that Zhu is different from herself. As the blood of the Yang family, how could she tolerate others humiliating herself like this? Then I will show you. Is the blood of your Bizhao continent area powerful, or the magic of our southern area powerful? After saying this, Zhu directly used all her magic power to gather on the weapon in her hand. Then she immediately rushed up. However, Zhu did not use his power because he knew the power of Xian Luipu and did not want to hurt innocent people. He just wanted to teach the people in front of him a lesson. On the other side, Luanhang saw Zhu rushing towards him, and then he rushed up himself. He did not think that these southerners in front of him could be so powerful, so he did not take them seriously. As expected, the strength of these people was nothing more than the middle and lower level. It seemed that they were very ambitious, but their strength was only average. After realizing this, the expression on Luanhang's face became more arrogant. Then Luanhang immediately took the initiative to attack Zhu in front of him. Luanhang's skills were also very special. He was a disciple of the thunder art of Bizhao Lian Pavilion, but only a part of it. On the other side, Gao Yangzu also found that this person's skills were indeed very special. Although Gao Yangzu had never seen it before, Gao Yangzu felt that his skills were quite strange. After all, the offensiveness was too strong. But it seems that his level is not very high, and it is not difficult for Gao Yangzu to deal with other attacks. Then he directly blocked his attack. But Gao Yangzu finally found something bad, because this person was like crazy when he attacked himself, and he didn't know if it was because of the magic. The aggression he exuded directly attacked the people around him. And now there are a lot of people around them watching the fun. And Bai Luo and the others are still in the inn, so every time Luan Hang launches an attack, no matter whether it is a person or an object next to him, it will be attacked. After seeing this situation, Gao Yangzu's expression was not very good. Although he didn't like the people around him at all, you know, these people look down on them. But Gao Yangzu didn't think about attacking them like this, so Gao Yangzu couldn't help it in the end. Then he shouted directly to the people over there, "Why don't we fight somewhere else? If you keep fighting like this, the people around here will be in trouble. Look at the people around you, many of them are already injured. If you continue fighting in the inn, you will beat them to pieces." Gao Yangzu felt that this man's martial arts was really strange. It seemed that he couldn't control his strength when fighting. It was completely different from what they learned. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. However, this was not what Gao Yangzu was worried about now, but how to minimize the damage. But who knew that, after listening to Gao Yangzu's words, Luan Hang also smiled contemptuously. Then he looked at the situation around him and said disapprovingly, "You don't have to worry about this. Anyway, I'm rich and powerful. I just need to treat the injured people. As for the damaged things, I will naturally compensate for them. I won't bother you with this. But you southerners don't understand this principle. After all, you have never seen so much money, and your strength is so low." After hearing this, Gao Yangzu couldn't help but roll her eyes. It was really unexpected. Gao Yangzu didn't care about him anymore, because Luan Hang's attacks on her were getting stronger and stronger. So Gao Yangzu also slowly increased her speed of counterattack. However, Gao Yangzu also found that Luan Hang was a little anxious now, so the power of the attack was even more difficult to control. There were already many people injured around. After seeing this situation, Gao Yangzu was a little helpless, so when Luan Hang attacked her, she dodged these attacks at a very fast speed. Then she came to the side of the injured people. Although Gao Yangzu really hated them, as a descendant of the Yang family, Gao Yangzu couldn't bear to see these people die in front of her for no reason. On the other side, Luan Hang saw Gao Yangzu suddenly disappeared, and thought that Gao Yangzu was dead. After seeing the situation here, Gao Yangzu immediately cast a spell. There were already a lot of injured passers-by, so Gao Yangzu treated them all at once. Then he said to them, "If you want to live, run away quickly. This person doesn't want to die anymore. Don't stand here and watch the excitement." These people had never seen such a scene before. They didn't expect Gao Yangzu to do this suddenly, nor did they expect Gao Yangzu to be able to do this. After Gao Yangzu performed the spell, the wounds on those people were healed immediately. Chapter 475 Miraculous Things. The people who were lying on the ground just now found a warm current rushing into their bodies, and then they felt that the wounds on their bodies were slowly recovering. It was all of a sudden, and they immediately stood up and looked at their wounds. They found that the skin and flesh had healed, and they looked at Gao Yangzu next to them in disbelief, and didn't know what to say for a while. Is there such a magical thing? This is not something that people from the south would do. On the other side, Luan Hang also saw the situation here. He didn't expect Gao Yangzu to suddenly use this magic, and he didn't know that this magic had such a magical effect. He had never seen it before. But Luan Hang would never admit that he was not as good as Gao Yangzu, so he immediately attacked Gao Yangzu again. But you said that this time he didn't hide it, and then he used his own strength to directly hit Luan Hang back. This time was completely different from the last time, so Gao Yangzu didn't want to waste time with him here. If the fight continued here, I'm afraid someone around would suffer here again. So when Aoyangzu hit him with his palm, she used almost 50% to 60% of her power. Unlike just playing with this person just now, Luanhang was indeed unable to withstand Aoyangzu's palm and was beaten back one after another. But Luanhang would not allow himself to lose face in front of these people, but he also knew very well that his current situation was very bad. But Luanhang still stood there. How come the strength of this person in front of him suddenly became stronger? And it was obviously not like this just now. Aoyangzu didn't want to talk nonsense with this person in front of her. She looked at Luanhang. If Aoyangzu guessed correctly, this person should not have any ability to attack. However, Aoyangzu just thought that this person was very annoying, but she didn't want to kill him. So Aoyangzu reminded him, I advise you to go back quickly, otherwise the situation will not be the same as it is now. But Luanhang didn't think so. He didn't think Aoyangzu was reminding him kindly. This was a provocation to Luanhang, and he looked down on everyone. How could he have been treated like this? Although Luanhang knew that he was indeed injured, and the pain in his chest spread all over his body, but Luanhang still couldn't swallow this breath, and then he took his weapon and wanted to attack Aoyangzu again. But before he took a few steps, he vomited blood. Seeing this situation, Aoyangzu waved her hand helplessly. She would not treat this person. After all, if Aoyangzu treated this person at that time, she didn't know what kind of suffering she would suffer. Although this person's strength is not to be feared, he is quite capable, and Aoyangzu didn't think that this person would let her go so easily. Then Aoyangzu went straight to the back. But before she got to Bai Luo's side, the person who had just been treated by her ran to Aoyangzu's side. These people looked at Aoyangzu and then said to Aoyangzu, although the people in front looked down on Bai Luo and his group, Aoyangzu had indeed helped them just now. Although they looked down on Aoyangzu and his group at the front, at least Aoyangzu had helped them. So at this time, they hurriedly reminded Aoyangzu, you better run. Don't go against these people. Their families are very powerful. It will be troublesome if they catch you. Run away quickly. Bai Luo, who was standing aside, also heard what they said. In fact, it was obvious at that time that these people should be well-known figures in this area. So Bai Luo didn't want to conflict with them at all. At least he couldn't waste time on them now. Bai Luo nodded immediately and then pulled Aoyangzu to another direction. Let's leave quickly. It will be bad if they catch up later. Aoyangzu was not very scared. On the way, she didn't forget to tell Bai Luo about the strange things she found when fighting with Luanhang. I think the attacking skills of Luanhang are very strange. Anyway, I can't figure it out. I feel like I have never seen these skills before. Look at the people around just now. How many people were injured because of him? Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. Bai Luo nodded at the side. He saw this situation just now. Just now, he had tried his best to help some people around him to resist those attacks, but the destructive power of Luanhang to the surroundings was too strong. So Bai Luo said what he thought in his heart. I also think this is very strange. How can there be such a thing? So I think the skills he practiced are probably just a low imitation version, so there is such a flaw. Otherwise, it is impossible to burst all the power around. Otherwise it will not achieve this effect. Aoyangzu also nodded. You are absolutely right about this point. No wonder his attack seems to be very powerful, but I didn't find much suppression when I fought with him. The two walked and talked about the skills that Luanhang had just used. Luanhang on the other side also returned to his family at this time. Thinking back to what happened just now, Luanhang also felt that this matter seemed to be beyond his expectations. After all, in his impression before, the Southerners were not very capable. But the skills used by the people he met today were not seen by him, and he was never their opponent. Although Luanhang didn't want to admit this thing happened, so he was very clear in his mind. Then Luanhang told his family all the situations he encountered here. After hearing Luanhang's description, the family members were very curious about the identities of Bai Luo and others. After all, they knew their son's character very well, and it was impossible for them to easily admit that someone was very strong. You said he used the thunder technique? This is a very powerful offensive technique. We haven't met anyone who can use this technique freely in a long time. Finally, the family member looked at Luan Hang who was standing beside him. And your strength is not bad. How can you not beat them? Could it be that this person is really very powerful? Luan Hang did not reply. After holding it in for a long time, he said to his family member, they are very likely to be masters, but I'm not very sure about this. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.